G'day tube, long time no see. Hi, good day. It's Daniel slash Chancellor slash PunkRockDependency. So yeah, long time no see, of course, which is what I always end up saying. And compared to the birthday video prior to this is obviously actually it's all which of course I guess it's all relative, because compared to the birthday video prior to this isn't so horrible. But Skeleton, I also opened, like my video prior to this, I also opened a long time no see, and that was over a year ago, so it has been a while again. It's disappointing too, because I was actually almost successful in getting this one closer to Skeleton, and Skeleton even was to the birthday video prior to this. Because Skeleton was 2 months after, which was not the plan. It was the birthday video prior to this, which was ironically after a series of videos called Long Time No See, and then Did You Miss Me, which is only a series of videos, or technically a duo, but like one video with an immediately uploaded sequel, and they were only 2 separate videos and not one whole video, due to the fact that back then there was a time limit that they exceeded combined, because I believe they were about 18 minutes total runtime, and the limit was 10, sometimes 10-ish minutes. Like sometimes you could almost get to 11 if you were lucky, and I think at one point it was 15 too, but I don't know if that was expanded after or if that was before. Like, either way, they didn't want you to be able to upload television shows, because that was back before YouTube was. Well, now they strike down copyright stuff very quickly, but it saved them a lot of hassle. So now as long as you've proven that you're not willing to jeopardize your account standing to trivially violate copyright for views or whatever, because you can't make money off copyright anyway, they wouldn't let you partner that video even if you could get up I can't, it's unlimiting, for better or for worse. Yeah, because my birthday video prior to this was, of course, almost an hour and a half long, which is a decision I stand by. It's kind of funny too, because I was wondering if like the kind of eccentric length of a video like that, because it was basically a vlog that spanned an hour and a half, I was wondering if that would attract views. I'm not sure. I guess the site's changed a lot, and there's a lot more professionally produced a lot more content in general. So even if the traffic's going up, the content creation market's probably more saturated, perhaps more saturated now than it was, But anyways, so I'm not sure if it's just because that, but it only achieved 300 views, and that's with being the channel trailer, as I do not have time, or do not have time to produce a proper trailer for this channel, and I don't even entirely have a concept for it at this point, like what would be the trailer to this channel, so I'm just kind of using it as the autoplay, as the odd person has, like, even some people that are like well-known partners. Sorry, I keep doing this, and I'm sure it's not good for, but it keeps feeling like it's gonna slide. But sorry, but anyways, yeah. But I meant to say, like, people at the wine co, who actually are similar to 2014 to me, because I guess I kind of started to touch upon this. So here, let's just start with the topic at hand. January 2nd, my birthday, 2014. Yeah, now that there's 3 days remaining in 2014, it's a lot later than intended. Let's see, let's do the math. It's 12 months late, and how many days? 27 days. Horrible. Anyways, so yeah, obviously as always, I don't really have time to shoot the birthday video on my birthday, and I never had, even the first one, 2008, when that was back before I transferred to a mall location, and it was really slow, so I had January, and a lot of those months more or less off, or whatever. So at that point, and even on that one, I didn't really, I ended up uploading on the 4th, which was the first birthday video I ever did, and that was by far my best time. But this one was on track to be the second best time. It's kind of funny, because like I said, things have changed with work. There was a shift in the general manager got outs for some shenanigans that are still pending. He's gone, but there's serious stuff. There's a possible further fallout to come within the judicial system, but yeah, as that's pending. I'm saying that because I'm not naming the business or anything, and they don't watch the videos, and I'm not going to I don't market the videos I don't market these videos to people I actually know in person, because I live in a city where there's not much of an entertainment industry, and people, as much as, like, I mean, obviously in most places now YouTube is beloved for hosting Vivo videos and various, well, I mean, and like, you know, music videos and stuff, and the odd like viral stuff, but content creation, unless, like, let's say you're really good at it, like, I mean, if you're if you're a musician and you post video, like that type of video or whatever, maybe, but like a not particularly successful vlog, people are kind of YouTube phobic in that sense, like, if, yeah, like, well, I mean, yeah, they if you post a not particularly successful humor slash spontaneous nonsense vlog, there's a good chance that a lot of people out here will make fun of you. So I keep this project separate from my public Facebook, or I mean my Facebook or my personal Facebook and all that, because yeah, I don't particularly want everybody's yeah, well, because I mean I had a channel in the past which I've touched upon before. I was actually friends with Days. Mentioned in one of his videos. He's got like 2 vlogs, I think. Maybe more now, but at the time there was 2 that were like, all the other ones had music. One he had like were random things, but there was 2 that were just like video vlogs. They were like, number one, I think they had subtitles, but like, anyways, I actually mentioned one of them. You can probably figure out the name because my old handle had Daniel in it. And on that channel I did a character who I gave a fun accent and stuff, and like, I don't know, it was just for fun or whatever. I wasn't trying to trick anybody or whatever. But yeah, it somehow managed, or I mean, it eventually surfaced in my school, and yeah, people were not. You can get made pretty merciless. People will make merciless fun of you. If your vlogs are kind of goofy. So, I mean, I want some people have thick skin and they don't care, but I don't know, I don't want that much negative attention, so I keep the 2 universes separate for the time being. That's kind of the thing. There comes a point where, you know, if you're making money off of it or something, it becomes justifiable, but if you're just doing it for fun, well, even then, like, I don't know. I remember, like, when Lucas, who made Fred or whatever, said that people at his high school thought it was cool, I was actually kind of surprised, like, I mean, well, actually, some people were like, oh, I love your videos, and want to be in them, but, you know, it's kind of like in that weird, like, there were these weird guys that, like, I didn't hang out with, or know particularly well, because, you know, that happened, like, when I got to that school, so, but anyways, like, we didn't have much in common. It was, like, these kind of, like, weird jockey guys that liked getting smashed and doing pervy shenanigans and all that. So not really the type of people I typically associate with. No offense to anybody that feels like I might have described them. Like, I mean, like, they're like really like I don't know. And that was not my scene. And anyways, yeah. So like, well, and like, you know, they'd kind of be like, it's like, even though some of the stuff they were saying was kind of nice and they were interested in being in the videos, it was still kind of like, they're making fun of me. Jeez, what an unnecessary detail. I already have so much to cover, so this is going to be an hour long. Oh yeah, but did I touch upon that? Anyways. But yeah, so the birthday video prior to this only achieved 300 views altogether, which is not horrible for my channel, but with the autoplay and stuff, it's not amazing. And I think that, like, just in general, everybody's viewership's kind of going down. Oh, and I also think that, like, to some degree, back in 2007 era YouTube, which is when I, like, really discovered the site, it was more of a, like, certain things were more of a big deal, right? Like, you know, averaging 10,000 views is more of a big deal now, but now with, like, however, now with Vivo and stuff, like, in videos or I mean, like, size video achieving like 1 billion views. And we sometimes forget the significance of you know, 100,000 views. Oh my goodness. So boring. But yeah. Yeah, so we sometimes forget the significance of 100,000 views, which is, or, well, I mean, and that's kind of a big deal, but, stuff under that kind of, but I mean, like, I think it is harder to get views. It's definitely hard to get comments, that's what I've noticed. Like, I remember, like, I wasn't necessarily, it was kind of funny, I had this weird feeling, oh, who knows, maybe, like, this is a weird, different kind of video, maybe this will somehow attract some, like, I figured it would at least be good for my subscribers, like, and I hope nobody was like, what, he expects me to watch an hour and a half, like, no, like, not all in one sitting, of course, like, I know you guys have lives, I mean, like, if you, I mean, not that you wouldn't if you happen to have time the night when you sat, but yeah, you know what I mean, like, I don't necessarily, like, you must watch this immediately after I've been absent for 3 years, in its entirety, and write a review, like, no, like, obviously not, but I figured, like, but I'm kind of glad I went that way, because now I've got one video that's got 300 some views. I think it's stuck at 301 because I guess some of the autoplay views were not authenticated. So now like slowly gotta, it's gonna be stuck at 301 until a couple more people click on it. But yeah, like I mean, I did, but I'm happy I did like that because I mean like, well, because Skeleton has yet to actually crack 100, or it might have just, but like I mean, at the start of this month I think it only had 90 views. So. I'm glad that I have one kind of long, like, that's all condensed, especially because you can come back and watch, like, you can watch it in segments. I didn't expect people to watch the whole thing in one go, necessarily. Well, I mean, and I figured that would work out well, because at least that way, like, if my viewership was down, I'd get more views from each person, maybe, and, it'd just be more convenient for everybody, like, I'm still also, like, with those 2 videos, I've now got 30 videos, so I'm still kind of, well, I mean, not to mention, I'm kind of a little bit sentimental with my videos, so kind of like, because like there's a lot of people like they're just looking for hits, right? So let's say a video only gets, let's say a video underperforms and like doesn't get 100 views, or let's say they're bigger and it takes forever to crack 1,000. They'll look at that video as a disappointment or whatever, right? Whereas whereas I kind of look at it as like, oh damn, that video failed, and I feel bad for the video though, because it's like, I'm not just like, oh, I'm not making money off of that, because I'm not making money off any of this. You might have noticed that my videos are in the partnership program now, because they'll let anybody join, and I was like, oh, why not? But I'm pretty positive I'm not getting a check anytime soon. But yeah, so what was I trying to? But yeah, but you know what I mean. Like it makes me like I want the video to be able to achieve some level of success or whatever. So I'm kind of glad there's only one video that got 300 views rather than it being split up into 5 or 6 parts and each one having about 45, 55 views. That would be way more depressing. Plus, it was just simpler. It was easy to. Well, I mean, it took a long time to edit because I'm stuck using these Ratchet laptops and Movie Maker. Movie Maker, of course. Ratchet Microsoft laptops. 1 minute there. I'm not feeling amazing, apparently. Anyways, yeah. So I'm stuck editing with that. I tried to do a take on Christmas Eve, that is. New Year's Eve is in the future, thank God. I tried to do a take on Christmas. I should finish that, but yeah, but anyways, like, what I was trying to say was Windows Movie Maker, so it took a long time to process, but at least I didn't have to process 5 or 6 times, and at least that way it was, yeah, and then upload 5 or 6 times. It was funny too, because I thought about things like, what if I can get a couple of videos done and upload them both at once, and I'm like, no, that's bad for views. But it's like, what views? Skeleton got 90 views. It got 1 like, which the birthday video didn't. Nobody liked it. And the only person that commented was Disaster Truck, which was nice of her, but I'm pretty sure she's not going to comment anymore, because I think she's trying to not get her channel. She's like resisting the Google Plus, the signing up for the Google Plus thing, which, to be honest with you guys, I mean, like, Disaster Truck can do what she wants, if she likes, if someone keeps her some features that we no longer have for her, good for her, but, like, I was gonna say, but to be honest, I think that Google Plus, 2013 was a weird year, right, because, it was, like, after 2012, and 2012 was, like, such a built-up year, like, the apocalypse and stuff, like, oh, well, the world's gonna end, and presidential election, which doesn't affect us in Canada, obviously, directly. Well, I mean, it does. The American election kind of affects everybody to some degree. We don't get to vote in it, but, like, I mean, if you live in Canada, George W. Bush was an indisputably worse president to have to deal with than like Obama, because George W. Bush kind of like outright screwed us a couple times. I was gonna say, it's funny. I'm always. Well, I don't have good web access, so I mean, I don't have time for political debates. But ever since I William Johnson, I'm reluctant to discuss stuff like that too, because I always think like, oh, I have like entertainment. Well, I mean, just in general, like, I've got aspirations for whatever. So I don't necessarily want to have like high-profile, outspoken political views if they're going to hinder me. I might have them once they can no longer hinder me. But George W. Bush, considering he was like, he basically ushered in a whole era of comedy and punk rock. I'm pretty sure it's a safe bet to say. I mean, he did, like, I mean, like, there was some very uncool stuff done to Canada under his presidency. But anyways, yeah. So 2000, it was a year that everybody talked about long before it came, right? Because it was one of those years, just like 2016 kind of thing. Like, it's going to be 2015 right away, which like, but especially the apocalypse thing, because even though like nobody really, or I mean, I shouldn't say nobody, but most people weren't really banking on it happening. Even some of the people that were really like enthusiastic, like, oh yeah, it's happening or whatever, and like whatever theory it was, like I found it weird that they were like it's like, how can you believe the world's ending and you're just kind of sitting there living your day-to-day life? Like, are you just kind of like are you just talking about it because I don't know. But yeah, because I knew some people that were really like, oh yeah, yeah. That's kind of like, I don't know. Seemed pretty far-fetched, and I guess I'm glad it didn't happen, because I almost was able to upload a video upon which would have been great, like which I touched upon in that video. It didn't work out, and I was almost a year late in the end. But anyways, so yeah, 2013 was like this year that we, supposedly according to the Mayans, we're not supposed to have, even though like that's fiercely debated. So, but yeah, despite that, there it was, and it was kind of a weird year. Like, it wasn't, I think it was a tough year for a lot of people, but it was also like a very bizarre year pop culture-wise and stuff. Like, the Google Plus thing, like, that was stupid in my opinion. I know it's a bit of a hassle, but like, I mean, and like, I don't, but like, and I know like personally, like, I feel bad now that I have a Google Plus account that I have a hard time updating, but that doesn't seem to bother most people. It's more just that they didn't want to get one, and it's like, well, like, who cares if you have a Google Plus account? You just want to neglect it, and neglect, like, I guess, like, it sucks if you're very sentimental about accounts, like, kind of like how I have a Twitter, because I didn't want anybody to be able to steal my name initially, and people on YouTube were going, I was like, I should get my name before some weird, because sometimes, even though it's not, Jatan's Van is not really a name that, like, comes to most people, but for whatever reason, there was, much like the F word and the word punk and, like, words like that were taken on YouTube in, like, 2005. It was taken in 2007 by some, like, right before I signed up my first channel. At that time, I was doing a character in that channel, and when I was kind of like, I was in the mood to do something different, so I didn't even try and register, but then I saw it after, and I was like, damn it, who is that? But yeah, it was like some weird old man from America, like, he was listed 20, like, I don't know why, like, I don't know if, like, there's robots that do that, they list their ages, like, from America, dude, and, like, somewhere near 30, but I was like, what the heck, who are you? Because they never used it, just like, whoever registered the F word and the word punk and all that back before they got back before YouTube let people buy those words to have a funny YouTube URL. And they never used it, but, yeah, it was annoying. But anyway, so yeah, then I got a Twitter, and now I'm very afflicted about how to deal with my Twitter, because, I got it, like, I was pretty ground floor for Twitter. Well, I mean, relatively, because YouTube was kind of the first trend where people, it kind of became a trend on YouTube, right? Because as it was becoming a trend of celebrity, there were all these, like, YouTube celebrities or people with YouTube that were like, oh, I can use this to interact with my audience. I always thought it was kind of stupid, and, like, tweeting, like, oh, I got a new video, like, doesn't most of your audience subscribe to you, so they know that? But, whatever. But I got one just to play it safe so nobody could steal my name, and, it's a stupid website. Like, I don't get it. Like, 140 character. I remember I was supposed to make a Twitter video too, which I never did. Because that was the trend too. Because like they made some kind of goofy, ironically, often rather high-produced video about like, oh, I got a Twitter now, and like so a lot of them were kind of like tongue in cheek and kind of making fun of Twitter. Like, But yeah, like the Charles Trippy video. But I mean, like a lot of people like smaller than him that I knew that made the Twitters also made like some kind of video with that. So I didn't have time to script something that was like anywhere near like that level. And blah blah blah. So I've never actually plugged it before, but it is Jachan's Man if you do want to follow me. But anyways, yeah. So yeah. Much like, so when I uploaded my videos last year, I felt bad that my Twitter had been so neglected, so I started tweeting a bunch. Because I remember initially when I got Twitter, like, you know, I got, like, before, like, I had my internet exile, cyber banishment, where I vanished from YouTube and all that, I had 294 tweets by then, which seemed ridiculous to me, because, you know, they have to be so small, so I was like, that's, like, I mean, and having been on youth, like, that youth forum that I mentioned before and stuff, I was kind of like, it felt like spamming or something. I was like, I haven't written like 294 worth amount of whatevers. But I mean, I obviously knew I had, but you know, like tweets, they don't feel like, it's weird seeing them count. It's kind of like, you know, if Facebook counted like every single status and like comment you made or whatever, it would go up a lot faster than you might think or whatever, which is where like the incorrect idea that Twitter is actually remotely competitive with Facebook. Like, I mean, well, I mean, I know they're competitive, but like, everybody forgets, like, you know, on Facebook there's your inbox, there's comments, there's all the likes you do, comments on pictures, so I mean, like, and yes, there are people that use their Twitter more than Facebook, because apparently I don't really get that either, like, you know, they start adding relatives, and they're like, oh, my relatives are watching me, so I can't talk about my ratchet bar activities, follow me on Twitter for that, or you know, or they want to seem cool to all these people that aren't really their friends, but are their acquaintances that they have, like, and I'm like, kind of like, oh, that's kind of sad that you can't be yourself in front of however many your Facebook friends or whatever, but yeah. Twitter's also less permanent, I mean, because I've heard that some people, like, now, like, supposedly now teens are really into the like which I always loved the archival feature. That's what I don't post stuff I'm ashamed of, or I'm going to be ashamed of on Facebook, or I definitely try not to. But I love that you can kind of like look back on your Facebook and like, oh yeah, I did this at this time and blah blah blah. It's still like, I mean, like, they're all kind of silly trivial websites, but like I always found it useful in that way, which is kind of what makes Twitter kind of counterintuitive to me, because it's very like, because even now, like, I remember I felt afflicted though, because you know, these people that were using it for their like random like alcohol drug blogs or whatever and stuff, because like some of the people I know that are really into Twitter, like that's what they do, like they post all this stuff that they don't want their parents to do, which they could technically do on Facebook if they restricted their parent, but or that, or like one person is like, oh yeah, I have a Twitter so I can complain about it whoever I want, whether it be my parents or my people at work or whatever, so okay. But yeah, actually that person in particular had like 40,000 tweets, and they joined like 3 years after I did, and I was like, because I was like, well, I don't know if I want that many tweets, but should I have 1,000 or something by now then? It felt weird. It's like, I've been here before all you ratchet children, and now it's weird. But so I was kind of like afflicted about that. So I started tweeting a lot to make it up to my Twitter, and it was kind of fun. Like I used it to stuff like YouTube or whatever that I don't talk about on Facebook, because yeah, I know it's kind of hypocritical, but you know what I mean. Like my Twitter is an accessory to my YouTube channel, whereas my Facebook is not right now. I don't use it to cross-promote for a very good reason. Like, not because I'm particularly ashamed of the video, but I just don't want it to, or the videos, that I just don't want them to become something that is talked about a lot behind my back or whatever. Whereas, I mean, but that's also the thing, I also keep them very separate, whereas these people, like, you know, they get Twitter, like, you know, they invite a lot of the friends that they have on Facebook to follow them on Twitter, so, I mean, it's not that hard, it wouldn't be that hard if somebody wanted to embarrass them to, like, post their Twitter on their wall, you know, probably be the end of that Facebook friendship, but, you know what I mean, whereas I just kind of keep this completely separate. I have a couple of very, very close friends that know of my YouTube channel, and I don't even, but, yeah, that's about it. What was I saying? But anyways, yeah. But yeah, and I also had some photo projects or whatever, and well, you know how it's become, Facebook's kind of changed over to the point where people are more like perfectionists, but they want, like, they update their statuses, like, only, like, some people still update them all the time, but still a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, do the highlight reel of my life or whatever, it's only if it's like something really like brag-worthy or whatever that makes them look good or whatever. So I don't follow that necessarily, but I also don't want to be updating, like, I was very fixated and frustrated on how like the Weather Network, which is our Canadian major meteorological, I cannot speak, broadcaster, well, I mean, along with Environment Canada, which is the government source for the weather monitoring, but I was very frustrated with how they apparently could not call the temp, like before. A lot of people were complaining about how cold it was, which was, it's like, we live in Canada, come on guys. Especially because, like, it was a long cold snap, and I think it might have broken a record in that regard, like, that there were no days where it kind of, like, slacked off, but it wasn't, like, groundbreaking freezingness or whatever, like, technically there were no days where the buses were stopped because it was too cold outside. There were snow days, I think, but, like, that's not the same thing. But there were no, like, don't go outside days or whatever, because you will freeze. There were no freeze advisories like that. Well, I mean, like, you know, there were days where it came close, but none were there. Actually, like, oh, we're going to stop the school. Whereas, like, 2006 and 7 and 8, a lot of those. Actually, I don't think some of those years had any snow days, but they all had days where the buses were cancelled because of the temperature. So in that regard, it was overblown. But anyways, the weather could not. Whenever they'd say it'd snow, and then it'd be like hot, like one of those disgustingly harsh sunny days where it's, like, you know, it's super bright outside and also it's freezing, which is kind of funny because, you know, we associate the sun with warm, but not so much in those days, which are like the worst days. Because I like overcast skies, so I was excited for the snow, and I had like a photo project I wanted to do, so I tweeted a lot about that. So my apologies to anybody that was. I used Twitter as my, like, day-by-day, like, monitor for that. And I also had a video concept I was thinking of doing, but I needed like a nice snowy overcast day, and there were none of those really. Like, there were days where it snowed. Well, obviously it was overcast and it was snowing most of the time, but, like, it was either in the morning, like, you know, which I don't have time to get up at, like, early in the morning on a day when I work to shoot in the snow or whatever, and then, you know, and it would go away pretty quickly. And a lot of them were pretty cold, and, you know, despite being because snow days, well, obviously they're cold, but, like, there are days when it's snowing, obviously they're cold, but, like, you know, usually you can bank on them being at least kind of mild, because they are, like, the wind, they usually made sure the wind was very high, so actually that wouldn't necessarily work either, you know what I mean. It's frustrating. That, or, like, you know, on the few days where it did snow in the evening and was fairly consistent, I'd have work. That, or they would tell me it was going to be sunny, then it would snow, and I'd be like, damn you. So there was a lot of those type of tweets or whatever, just because it's something to talk about. And I talked about, like, other stuff, like, but yeah. And then I realized that apparently Twitter's API or whatever, apparently their stupid server starts archiving your tweets once you achieve 3,000 something, which is an outrage to me. It's kind of funny because at one time I'm kind of like, if I become really famous, I'm not sure if I want somebody to dig all the way down all these tweets. Or I don't necessarily want it to be easy for them, but at the same time, I don't like the idea that nobody can, or that I couldn't if I was just at the computer for 10 minutes, hitting the end button again and again. And I know, like, I can still access them by requesting the archive, but I don't know, that's no fun. So now I'm kind of afflicted, so that kind of resolved my affliction, because it's kind of like, I was thinking, like, should I try and get, like, a couple thousand tweets to, like, get back in the game or whatever? But at the same time, it's, you know, it's kind of like my videos. I've got 30 right now, so it feels weird, like, you know. But eventually, you know, once you've got, like, 45, it, like, you know, because when you're at, like, or when you're at 20 and you're, like, well, you know, maybe, like, at 30 it's already getting to that point, but, you know, like, when you have, like, 25 of them or something, it's actually not that hard, like, to distinctly remember all of them, like, you know. But then there comes a point where, like, there's like so many of them that it's hard to, like, you know, not that you don't work around, but you know what I mean, like, then they start to, like, well, actually, I guess that's what I should say, like, you know, your audience might have, like, a distinct memory of them all, because obviously you do as the creator, but, well, I mean, that's what I'm sure a lot of people that have over 50 videos, like, you know, if they weren't allowed to look at the channel, might not be able to list what they all are, like, whereas I kind of can, and I can actually have a general idea of where they all stand within the views or whatever. So they're all kind of still, like, extra sentimental to me, and it sucks when I see one not do well, like, and I've become so freaking perfectionist, like, about them and stuff. Like, this video I shot a couple, yeah. But anyway, it was my birthday. I remember I was making the joke. In an earlier take of this video I did on Christmas Eve, actually one this occurred to me before, but anyways, I made the joke that my videos are kind of like the stupid stories they tell on How I Met Your Mother, where they keep, you know, they tell us long-winded story and they keep getting sidetracked, except probably a little bit less entertaining and interesting to the majority of people. Except, but they're kind of like, yeah, my stories, not the How I Met Your Mother ones. minus the fact that I don't have anybody to banter off of, so I can't be like... yeah. But anyways, birthday, let's just quickly run through this and get it done. Funny story though, on the Christmas Eve take, which I did, like, which was kind of risky, but like I really wanted to get it done, or like, you know, but I mean risky because usually I don't have time to do that, but actually yeah, but with work, geez, I totally got sidetracked earlier. Yeah, as I said before though, the general manager is gone, so now like my work plays by the rules of it, so this time of year is not as crazy as it used to be for me. Like, they follow the labor laws now, whereas they used to not, so you could work, like, you know, 55, 60, 75, 80, 85, 86, something like, you know, that kind of amount of hours in 1 week sometimes. Usually not quite that high, but, you know, you could definitely get, like, 55 when... Here, at least, after 40, you're supposed to get overtime, whereas, like, they'd pay you for them all, but they wouldn't give you the time and half overtime they were supposed to and stuff. But now they do that, so they're a lot more stingy. Like, that is... Nobody works 55 hours anymore, because that would be an extra... They would have to pay out over, I can apparently not do... They would apparently not do math anymore, but, yeah... Jeez, I'm tired. They would have to, yeah, I guess that would cost them a little bit of, depending on the wage, it probably near 75, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because 10, 15 hours, 10 times 5 is 50, so yeah, 75-ish. That would cost them $75 that never would have before, so it's gone a lot better in that regard, so. And actually, yeah, that touches upon my birthday too, so my birthday, this last birthday was the first time I didn't have to work, you know, over half the day or whatever, like 10 hours of, spend 10 hours of the day at the mall. I still stop in or whatever, but yeah. My mother promised me chocolate chip pancakes, but apparently just assumed that I would be asleep and that she wouldn't have to honor that commitment, and made plans to go out for lunch with my cousin, so I got like an early lunch with my cousin, so I got up and she was like, oh damn it, and so then she brought me for lunch with my cousin, but my cousin got to pick my birthday brunch restaurant. What an outrage. Just kidding, it was nice. I got chocolate chip pancakes the next day. It's kind of funny too, because, you know, like, I've had these web access issues, but I kind of had decent web access on that day, so I did some Twitter posts. Yay! David Usher tweeted that day. Wait, well, he's staying in Montreal these days. He's, yeah. If you're familiar with him, he's a famous Canadian musician that's gravely underappreciated these days. Another gravely underappreciated Canadian musician is Gob, who released the new album, Apartment 13, this year, so buy it, it's amazing. Or buy Gob's other work, let them know they're appreciated. I got to see them, they did a Canadian tour this year. Not on my birthday, but that was much later. I got tickets to Google's on my birthday, but we'll get to that after. But anyways, David Usher tweeted that it was freezing in Montreal because, yeah, it was the forecast there, and especially where I live is actually colder. But I was forecast at different areas in Canada were colder than Mars this year at that point or whatever. Yeah, so yay Canada. But anyways, yeah. So I saw David Usher tweeted that, and I tweeted him to try and get him to wish me a happy birthday. But apparently he's still relatively his tweets still attract a deserved amount of attention. Yeah. Well, and I think his music does too, but you know, it's tough in this industry this day, like, but it's great, like, it's not as appreciative as I think it should be. Like, Wake Up and Say Goodbye is a great album by David Usher that I don't get the impression was as, I'm having a mind blank, I cannot speak apparently, but yeah. It was not as embraced as much as it should, like, you know, it didn't, I don't know, like, I think it did alright, but I would also encourage you to check that out. Like, I think the opening track, The River, is finally available on YouTube after not being available forever. I don't like uploading other people's copyrighted stuff. I wish that they would all just do it themselves, but I was almost tempted to, like, put a couple of the songs on there that were on there because you can't find them and they're so catchy. But, yeah, but anyways, so I recommend, yeah, Wake Up and Say Goodbye by David Usher, and anything by Gob. But Apartment 13 is the new one, so that's the one that sales would probably notice, they would notice the most appreciation. But like Muertos Vivos is a great album too. Apartment 13 is kind of like, yeah, Muertos Vivos is very heavy though, and then Give Up the Grudge is like their, well, not their classic album necessarily because they've been around for a long time and they had a lot of hits before that, but that's like kind of the one that like resonated through the 2000s or whatever, because give up the grudge and stuff like that. Highly recommended all of them. Go Gob. According to Gob, that's really good, and then there's a lot of stuff before that that a lot of people love too, but it's kind of like more aggressive, not that radio-friendly punk necessarily. But anyways, yeah, so he tweeted that I'm reading it. And I also, that was around the time when I discovered that Mike Mallon, actually ironically, speaking of that, was asked to leave the Goo Goo Dolls. I think it happened like in early December, so with my lack of web access and stuff, and crazy Christmasness going on at the mall, it's understandable. I didn't know I noticed that day too. And I also tried to get a birthday wish out of him. Nobody famous wished me a happy birthday. So I didn't read on Twitter. It was disappointing, but it was just fun to tweet anyway. I didn't necessarily expect it, but yeah. So that happened. So yeah, actually, it was weird, like, because it wasn't like, because of my birthday they were giving me extra access. It just happened like if they leave something open, I'm allowed. Well, I mean, yeah. It's usually not a big deal if I use it, but they won't give me the. And it wasn't deliberate, I'm sure. But anyways, but yeah, like they left the family computer that I don't really get to use anymore because I did not contribute to its repair fund because of the weird way I was accused of being the primary culprit, even though I wasn't. But yeah, so that was open, so that's where I did my morning tweets, and then yeah, then we went out. I had to stop at work. We stopped and exchanged some of the gift I got because yeah. It's funny, my parents often exchanging gifts, so great. Like, like when you get something for clothes and it's just not you at all. Well, I mean, some people don't care, they'll just wear whatever. But it's kind of funny, I always tell my family, like, the things I do and don't like, and I'm pretty clear, and sometimes, like, in all fairness, like, my family bought me these Element shoes, but, well, I guess this is a more recent development, too, like, well, not recent, but I remember, like, I used to sometimes just buy random shoes because of the design. Sometimes they would be kind of bulky, and I kind of noticed it after, and I'd be like, I'm not as. Well, and actually, usually if I bought shoes like that, it was out of desperation. Because sometimes you go and buy shoes and they're all ugly, like when you buy skate shoes. But anyways, I got this nice, well, not like particularly nice, like that everyone's like, hey, sick kicks or whatever. But like they fit nice and they were nice and light and they were like a nice sleek pair of skate shoes. And then like ever since then I kind of. And so my mother bought me Element shoes, which is totally the right brand, which is a good brand, and not a bad idea brand-wise either. But yeah, like they were like, the logo was actually, like they didn't even have a logo, they had a little sticking out tag that said Element, and then they were like, high tops, which I don't really like, or whatever, like, I mean, like, well, I don't know if that's the right word, I don't know, but they weren't like, giant, almost boot-looking shoes, but like it rose around the ankle, and they were like bulky and heavy, like, and I was like, so we returned those. There's no nice shoes though, so I actually still haven't gotten those shoes, but there's more to that story. But anyways, so I wasn't like hurting for shoes at that point anyway. I kind of am now, because the pair of shoes I have, their sole is kind of worn into a hole, which really sucks when you have to walk around a lot. Anyways, but yeah, so that was that. So we did that. We got home. This year they made me. They were supposed to. They did a rain check on my Oreo cheesecake that we talk about sometimes. It's so delicious, like the one on the back of the Oreo crumbs box. Well, it used to be. I don't know. Well, and it was regionally in Canada. I can't speak for everywhere else in the world, but yeah. It's delicious. If you see it, I recommend it. It's got like an Oreo crumb base and then cheesecake and Oreos inside the cheesecake, and then a chocolate and Nanaimo square and Nanaimo bar style like chocolate topping. It's amazing. Anyways, my mother did a rain check on it. They made this kind of like puddingish cake with M&M, which is still nice. Oh, I mean, like, I don't want to seem ungrateful, so that was different this year. But and actually, they never fulfilled the rain check on my cake, so I get to do this next year, I hope. But anyway, so yeah, after that and stopping at work and etc., we got back. It was, last year was the Thursday, and it was like, well, actually, as we said, the headline for my birthday was colder than Mars in Canada. It might have been the headline other days too. I don't know if they were lazy and recycled it, but it was specifically that day for sure. So like, don't be like, so if anybody looks it up and they see it a couple days earlier or later, not my fault. It was literally like, there was tweets about it that day, and I think, yeah. But anyways, David Usher tweeted about it. Go check it out. But yeah, so yeah, it was freezing cold. It's a Thursday. It's like a Thursday after New Year's, so everybody was busy. Some of my friends weren't even in the city, so it's kind of a low-key-ish evening. Like, you know, people were still recovering from New Year's, not to mention it was not nice out. So, yeah. But Dan Harmon decided to give me 2 episodes of Community for my birthday. He did not include Ian Duncan in them, though, which was upsetting. I was hoping that he would be in them, but they were still alright. Community was dealt a lot of blows, though, like for season 5, obviously, like losing Chevy Chase, and which doesn't necessarily sound like a huge blow if you're just thinking like Chevy Chase from his movies, or that weird parody of him on Family Guy. But he was pretty good in Community. Like, well, in season 4, I never really, I still to this day haven't entirely watched season 4 because I don't know. Like, sometimes I do wonder too, you know, because I heard all the controversy of Dan Harmon, and like, you know, the purist fans are like, oh, it's gonna suck. And I saw a lot of things that did kind of look like, oh, that probably did suck. But like, well, I mean, like, I remember I turned on at one time one of the episodes was in the middle of the season, and they were all puppets, and I was like, Urgh. And I'm not saying that Dan Harmon wouldn't have done that, and I don't know if I would have liked it if he would have done it, but I was definitely like, oh, I'm not ready for this. I am not up for this. I wasn't really, I didn't necessarily, I remember when I first heard about Ovid's Uncontrollable Christmas, I was kind of like, didn't think I was going to want to watch that either, but it was actually alright. It also had a lot of John Oliver in it, which I don't think the puppet episode did not, so, I don't know. Yeah, it was just kind of like, not that I'm saying Dan Harmon wouldn't have done that, and I don't know, maybe it looked really lame though, like, and all the singing and stuff, and it looked like they were trying to do something that Dan Harmon would do, and I was kind of, I don't know. And then anything else I've seen, like the writing just doesn't seem as fun. Like whatever, they're like those guys. They did what they could. It's kind of yeah. And who knows? But yeah. So then NBC, like, you know, doing the graduation stuff. It made season 5 kind of weird. Like it's got I don't know. Like and I was gonna say. You know, and anybody familiar with the situation, NBC kind of called the cancellation at the end of the year because, you know, it's doing well. Actually, I think because of Canada initially, it's doing amazing in syndication or whatever. But yeah, like, cause I mean, well, now it's on Much, but sorry. Oh, this heat, and I'm just, I don't know, I'm feeling like, Yeah, it's on Much now, but like initially it was on Comedy Network, like they're the same company now, but yeah, via the acquisition of Chum a couple of years ago. But anyways, it initially started in Comedy Network, and then like we picked it up first, I think, but plus Netflix. Like I mean, it's obviously not just Canada, but like in between Netflix and we had when it's available on Netflix here and then the Comedy Network picked it up, and I get the impression it did really well because American Comedy Central, which is like a lamer version of the Comedy Network. Yeah, just kidding. Just to get everybody up in an uproar. I know some people like rip on ours for like Comedy Network is the one channel that I think the one Canadian channel where like I don't necessarily believe that Canadian, especially because I don't think Comedy Central is perfect. I think they create some really good stuff like Tosh.0, but they also create a lot of garbage, and we don't have to pick that all up, which is not bad. And our Comedy Now and Just for Laughs, so I get like Just for Laughs has been rerun on to infinity, but like a lot of those comedian sets are really funny, and I've seen the odd Comedy Central presents and they're not as funny. Maybe I just see bad ones, but yeah. But anyways, yeah. We led the trend on that, but yeah. So anyways, it was huge in syndication, obviously, and that, like, you know, and I don't know if it matters as much for I guess it doesn't really for Netflix, because, you know, maybe some shows only have 2 seasons, but you know, in the syndication game, there's always that classic, like, 100-episode thing. Like, even Charlie Sheen show, like, Anger Management now, like, they specifically had 2 seasons, 1 of 10 episodes to make sure it was going to work out, and then 1 of 90, because 100 is typically considered the magical syndication number. I'm not sure Community was quite 100, but it was very close. Like, you know, it was like 98 or it was somewhere between 98 and 101, I think. So, yeah, NBC got their 100-ish quota. And that was that. And then Yahoo picked it up, and it's kind of funny because even it was good. Like I mean, there was things I enjoyed. Like I was really happy to see John Oliver in some episodes because he's hilarious. But I would have loved to see him even more. Like if he's in all of them, that would have been great. But and some people were like, "Oh, it's the greatest." But I don't know. Like I think it was dealt so many production. Like Troy checked out, and Pierce was already gone, and they also had to deal with the fact that NBC prematurely graduated the group, and it's kind of like. I know the series has kind of always been about them needing, like, you know, kind of finding, like, the school and not, you know, I don't know, like the weirdness, like kind of almost needing the weirdness, and like it's hard to move on from, but it's kind of like, oh, do we really want to watch them spend like, 7 years? Well, 6 years I guess is one thing, but like, well, that probably will be the last season, but you know what I mean, like, how many years post-graduation are they going to keep coming, like, I don't know, it's weird. If he'd been able to do season 4, I almost wonder if that would have, like, because, they had to find an excuse to bring them all back, and it kind of made the season dark and weird. But yeah, it's still nice. Thanks, Dan Harmon. I also got an episode of Big Bang Theory on my birthday, which is nice. That was also new. Yeah. But not if it's always new. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Like, it's crazy how time goes by, right? Because, like, I remember I was thinking about that. Oh, because, well, growing up, people grow up and stuff. Not that I talk about the television I watch a lot anyways, but, like, well, and some of these shows weren't even on the air, but yeah, it's kind of funny. I was thinking about that, like, these random shows that I watch now that, like, weren't necessarily even the type of television I used to like to watch back when I used to upload videos. Not that I didn't. I don't think I talked about. I'm going to touch on the fact that I loved Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is over, so something had to fill that void, I guess, and nothing in the animation realm really. Well, actually, apparently there's like another series of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Well, like, a second Legend of Korra or whatever, which I'm not saying is good or bad. I don't know. I hope it's good. That said, sometimes doing a second generation set of characters really sucks, like in Warriors, which is a bunch of books about cats. They always talk on and off about making a movie about, but which would be stupid, and they should definitely make it a TV show if they're going to do anything. But I'd only recommend watching the first series based on the first 6 books, because after that, like, who cares? I don't know. That was like when the heroes have children, they're often brats, and it is infuriating. It's kind of like how Nintendo's. Actually, no, that's not a good example, but it's like some shows they go on to the point where it almost. Oh, I don't know. At least those are separate too, because you can kind of enjoy the original and be like, everything else is derivative garbage. But like things like Pokemon, where like Nintendo milked that cash cow to death and is now hitting it with a shovel for more money as it gradually goes deeper and deeper into the ground, which will eventually be its grave if Nintendo ever lets it die. I don't know. And some people are like, still like, oh, I buy the Pokemon games because they're fun. It's like, yeah, but all the Pokemon are ugly and stupid now. No, well, not all of them. Like the original ones are still there, but like, I mean, I don't want burning monkeys and crap. I remember that from the VG Cats. That's so funny. The VG Cats that they did on like Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Highly recommended. Yeah. Also the one about Prepare for Trouble or whatever. Very good. Yeah. I don't know if anyone's familiar with VG Cats, and I can't stand up for it all. I'm not huge in the game, so I don't get a lot of the jokes. But well, I mean, like, there's a lot of jokes I'm not. But the Pokemon ones are usually pretty funny. But anyways, yeah, it's a webcomic. I knew about that from the youth forums I used to post on, because some people like this. But I'm not an expert because I don't have a lot of website access anymore. But yeah, as far as I know, VG Cat's not so bad. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, Pokemon's point is Pokemon sucked for a long time now. It makes me sad. And you should all stop buying the games, because just play Crystal when you want to be nostalgic. That was its peak. It's like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody's gotta go. My shooting got delayed, but I'm hopefully still gonna be able to get this all uploaded and whatnot. But anyways, yeah. Pokemon was last week. But yeah, no, because I saw some people who are like, oh yeah. Also, I don't like hypocrites. Back before, I don't know, Pokemon the Johto was not bad. Like, it was kind of stupid, I guess, like, in hindsight and some of the stuff, but, like, I could accept that. Like, it was, like, that they were, like, how could a whole family all go into nursing and all name their children Joy and they all be, like, identical twins, except being cousins and random crap, and, like, Officer Jaguar? No. Ridiculous. Well, actually, it's funny. There's like some weird internet, there's internet theories for it. But it's actually kind of funny, because even like the original Pokemon is like way more violent, like the Japanese. Because in America we get these watered down things. So it's kind of weird to hear that stuff. But I like the stuff when I was little, and it kind of got bad as I was becoming a teen, like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Both or whatever. So being little, I'm still not convinced that, like, the older ones where they kill each other and crap is, like, the original ones where they kill each other and crap is actually that much better. It might be easier to justify watching that as a teenager or something. I don't know. I was satisfied with the first couple seasons of both of those, as they were, even if they had their own little flaw. Anyways, this is not the point of my birthday video. But yeah, but anyways, yeah, so I actually remember I talked about Community, like, because as I've talked about the shooting schedule, I almost got to shoot it, like, within a week, I think, of my birthday, like, January 9th or something, so that would have been amazing. That would have been, like, the best timeline I've had ever. Well, I mean, not ever, but, like, since the original birthday video. And it would have put it less than a month after Skella's end, so I almost would have not have had to say, long time no see. I could have just been like, welcome to 2014. But now I'm saying, happy belated Halloween, Merry belated Christmas if you celebrate, Merry belated Boxing Day if you celebrate, Merry belated Christmas Eve if you celebrate, Happy Holidays to all the other holidays you might celebrate. Also belated, except for New Year's, because you can't wish somebody a belated New Year's in the New Year's or New. Well, I guess yeah, you can. Well, yeah, I guess belated New Year's because but that one was at least understandable because it's the first day of the year. So I mean, like, it's understandable that I would have to wish you a belated New Year's because it's hard to film on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Well, New Year's Day sometimes, but so there's all sorts of other stuff going on. Well, plus like we don't necessarily get work off New Year's Day, so anyways, so I cannot speak, but yeah, that one's more understandable. Then yeah. But I guess what I was trying to say is, if I'm going to wish you a belated New Year's Eve of 2014, that's not going to work in the year of 2014. But yeah, oh my goodness. So yeah, after I'm tired. Aside from, I cannot speak. What am I talking? But yeah, so it's kind of funny though, like, because they're not like, in 2011 for a while I had to work like these, I had to switch in shifts, and I get rides home earlier, like, and I'd want to take them because it was winter and it's freezing. So then I was actually home more than usual because like it was like a weird switch. But yeah, anyways, like I was helping out the store, and as a consequence, I didn't have to close it, which meant I got to go home early and I got a ride home. So, but that ride home was always at the end of my shift because I worked like shifts similar along the lines of what the manager did and stuff. So we'd both get off like in the early-ish evenings. So I wound up at home for certain things. And then anyways, like I was home and I had my family. I watched The Mentalist, and so I was there and they were watching The Mentalist. So. And I also, like, occasionally I'd seen my family watch Criminal Minds in the past. But anyways, yeah, so. And Canadian Bravo, which is way better than American Bravo, plays like, they switched it around, like, they moved Memphis to another channel that media group owns. But anyways, at the time it played The Mentalist and Criminal Minds back to back every night. So, yeah, I saw the season... Yeah, the season opening after he shot that guy he thought was Red John in the mall, or the guy that told me he's Red John. And I got like all obsessed, like I got like kind of hooked on The Mentalist and Criminal Minds after, which is funny and weird, like, especially because I didn't have a lot of computer access, so I ended up, they'd both be on right around midnight, which is apparently a good way to get me to watch your television shows, put them on near midnight. Well, not all the time anymore, but yeah, like. So yeah, I'd watch because anyways, so I started watching The Mentalist, and then like the first night I watched The Mentalist, right after Criminal Minds comes on, and it's like the one with the arsonist guy, so it's like got this weird music and he's pouring gasoline in. So like, and I'd seen little bits and pieces of Criminal Minds before, but yeah, it's like, it's just kind of, so that and Community are like shows that I started watching that I never used, I don't even think Community was really an option in 2010. It hadn't achieved its like cult popularity that it has now at any rate. Yeah, because I guess did it start in 2000? Like 5 seasons, the last one ending in 2014. Suggests that, yeah, I guess it started in 2009, I think. Or if not 10, in which case. Well, actually, either way, I guess I could have technically not had access to the internet. Well, no. Well, either way, it was near the end of I was pretty busy. So it's funny, yeah, because when I was little, I remember like one time I came downstairs and my parents were watching this really spooky cop show where like guy was in the witness protection or something, and anyways, the police were guarding his house, and then all of a sudden the killer came in, and his vision was all red, and he stabbed the cops who were outside the house, and there was a kid that was somehow survived. It was weird. So ever since then, I was like, I was not inclined to cop shows, and because I was like really little too many. So, but yeah, so up until like 2011 when I was around and I got hooked on The Mentalist and Criminal Minds for a while, I was not, I cannot speak. Anyways, before that I was not inclined to watch cop shows. I kind of lost interest in Criminal Minds when they went, I never really bothered watching all of the episodes with the old guy, Jason Gideon or whatever, Mandy Paquin, because, I don't know, I like Rossi a lot better. Plus, I don't want to sound like I'm patronizing or, or like being, I don't want this to sound mean, but I always feel really bad for people that have a very visible on camera bald spot. Even if they're comfortable with it, I'm just not I would not wish that on anybody. So and there's a lot of shots of Gideon where you're like, oh, the bald spot. It just makes me feel sad for him. And if he's happy, good for him, but I don't want to sound condescending, because it's something I'm very, that people are a lot harder, that fate, it's a danger that's considered much more potent to dudes, and I am horribly afraid of it. Horribly terrified of it. Horribly horrified of it. Terribly terrified. That one wouldn't make sense. I was trying to come up with an F alliteration, but yeah. Oh. I guess there's an obvious one that I refuse to use because I'm classy. I'm not I'm not that kind of kid. That wasn't the one I was thinking of. I thought that out. But yeah, I'm freaking fearful of it. Yes. But anyways, but yeah, plus like, I don't know. The show was kind of getting on its legs, but anyways, yeah, the Rossi episodes are great. One, I guess, yeah. I watched the ones, I think I've seen like every episode from like when Gideon leaves. Some of the Gideon episodes too. All the Rossi episodes up until like that, they added that Jean Triplehorn lady that's got like the annoying female, like kind of condescending know-it-all female character with two guys' names. Yes, because Alex and Blake are guys' names, you guys. If you're all like, where's Mark? Oh, he's making out with Blake. You're like, oh, when did Mark? No, I'm just kidding. I know that they aren't. They're technically unisex. One, like, I understand. I'm totally, like, kind of like, and I know Alexa and Alexis are kind of names in their own right. They're not really shortened versions of Alexandria, so well, maybe Alexa is sometimes. If it is, then I would say, come on, girls Alexa, guys Alex. Because guys can't, no guys called Alexis. Or, well, I mean, I guess some guys are, and that's kind of the other way. It's like, well, that's a girl's name. I don't know. But yeah, like, you never hear a guy, oh, that's Alexa, the guy. Oh, I haven't seen that one in action. But yeah, like, I get, like, the people like to shorten Alexandria. Kind of like how, like, if you shorten it to Lex, it's a guy, Lexi, it's a girl. I don't know. Just a pet peeve of mine. Just because, not like in a bad way, or like not like in a mean way. It's just whenever I hear Alex, I think I'm used to I'm used to it. It makes me think Alex is a guy. Kind of like how I think of Blake. If Blake is a guy, even though I know it is. I know it's her last name, so whatever. But still, it wasn't because of either of those things. I could have looked past that eventually, but no, just the character was annoying as far as I thought. So I just completely lost interest. Well, I didn't lose interest. I was busy too with work, but I was kind of like, well, there goes Criminal Minds. So I haven't watched any of those episodes. I don't know if I want to watch the Jennifer Love Hewitt episodes. I don't know, guys. How's Criminal? I don't know. It's a fun show, though. It was for the highlight period that I highlighted there in any rate. It's interesting, and yeah, The Mentalist is fun too. So it's kind of funny, like, if I was thinking, like, what if I talk about these shows, like, I never used to watch these, like, times have changed. But yeah, so Community, yeah, so we all kind of knew it was gonna, I actually remember I filmed in, right before they announced the cancellation, I was kind of like, oh, the writing probably knows, It's kind of funny because when they announced the council, that Yahoo is going to, I don't know how that works either. Is Yahoo Screen, is that like a pay service, or is it going to be free with ads, or what? Yahoo's still around, right? Who knew? I liked Yahoo when I was little because, you know, I think it's kind of a name that beckons, you know, when you're back when you were picking your well, actually no, I guess not, because lots of kids got Hotmail or AOL type things too. AOL is not really an option in Canada as far as I know, but anyways, I thought Yahoo is kind of like, you know, as a kid I was like, oh, that's a cool Yahoo Mail, I'll get a Yahoo Mail account, like, and it was alright, but like, it's going downhill. Yahoo's also a weird enigma of the internet because it's a company that kind of like didn't really create anything that it's known for, really. You know, it was like a portal, but it was like just a list of random websites, and then like, you know, but like now Yahoo's known for being an email provider and a search provider and sometimes a music streamer, but they bought all that stuff. They bought Rocket Mail for the email, Alta Vista for the search, then they paid Google to power the search even though they owned a search company. They're lucky they're still around. And then they bought Launch for music, and then they renamed it Yahoo Music, and it's like, oh my god, Yahoo, how boring can you be? And then they renamed Yahooligans, which is really funny, and like, the best branding for a kid site ever. Yahoo Kids, which is annoying. And I totally think that we should self-boycott them because their chess program was faulty. One time I got someone to checkmate, but I had to sacrifice the queen to get them to checkmate. They let the king kill the queen, and then they wouldn't let me kill the king. So I was like, screw this, I'm out. Flip the board. Just kidding, you can't flip the board. But if you could have done that virtually, I would have been like, checkmate, you died! What do you mean, Yahoo? Why are you doing this to me? Stupid glitches, Yahooligans, yes. I think it was still Yahooligans at that point, so my disappointment was multiplied. Ever since the Yahoo Kids, it's like, oh, I couldn't get less of a damn on original name. Just kidding. Anyways. But yeah, so that's that. But yeah, so yeah, that was my birthday. I don't know if I'm going to watch season 6. I probably will if it's free. I'll try and find a way eventually when the winter nurses. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I hope there's lots of John Oliver. If there is, then I definitely will watch it. Yeah. But anyways, what was it? Yeah, so I almost filmed really early after my birthday. I keep bouncing around here, but yeah. Then I almost filmed on Disaster Truck's birthday. Happy belated 20th birthday, January 12th, Disaster Truck. Disaster Truck, I think, is kind of mad at me. I don't know. I was giving Disaster Truck a hard time on Twitter as a joke. I don't know if I didn't know, because when I joined Twitter, it was so, like, low-tech and, like, poorly designed. Especially on the web, because, you know, it was, like, you know, the idea was, weirdly enough, they wanted you to get, like, third-party apps, but as far as, like, because, you know, it used to tell you, like, where it was, like, where the tweet was sent from, if it was from, like, it was never from, like, the Twitter app, it was always from, like, random, they had weird names, like Hootsuite and crap like that, or from the web, and I would always tweet from the web, but I remember, like, you used to have to write the whole tweet out, and then it would tell you if you were under characters. Stupid crap like that, so I didn't even necessarily understand, like, you know, that if you tweeted directly at somebody, or that if you made sure that their name wasn't the, like, you know, and only if their name wasn't the first word, that it would get sent out to all your followers. Not that it really matters. I got, like, 33 followers, a lot of which joined me from, like, your people from the youth forum that kind of got into the Twitter fad and recognized my name and joined, and followed me. And some of us chatted for a bit, but, like, most of them abandoned their accounts. Like, most of the accounts that follow me are abandoned. There's a couple, and I don't think that anybody is, like, watching my every move, but anyways, I was giving Disaster Truck a hard time as a joke, because I tweeted at her a couple times, and she didn't answer. And I guess I, like, wrote a couple words in front of the name, so it went out to everyone. She's like, how dare you publicly shame me? It's kind of like, sorry, but ever since it's kind of like, Disaster Truck's mad at me. So I'm sorry, Disaster Truck, happy belated birthday. I hope that, I'm not trying to publicly shame you this way either. It's maybe it's easier to explain this way, but anyways, yeah, I'm sorry, that was not my intention, I was just joking. I thought it was kind of weird, and you were, because I know, I get if, like, people aren't tweeting at all, like, if Disaster Truck was tweeting a lot and just didn't respond, and I guess maybe it was like, they didn't have anything to say. I did ask some specific questions, though, but anyway, it's not a big deal. I was just joking. I'm sorry, Disaster Truck, I appreciate your friendship, although, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's over now. Thanks for watching, though. You were never obligated to do that, and I never expected that of you, and I always appreciated that you did. Kind of like you weren't obligated to respond to my tweets, but I was kind of confused as why you weren't, because I was like, oh, is Disaster Truck mad at me? They're not Disaster Truck on Twitter, by the way. I think that's like some joke, fake company account. I don't know. There's something else, but I'm not going to say the Twitter behind her, because I'm not trying to publicly shame them. Anyways, sorry, Disaster Truck. It's been fun. If it's over, at least it was fun. I will miss you. But I guess at least there, the pressure's off. I've disappointed you for the last time, if that's the case. Sad. Anyways, once again, I don't feel like I'm publicly shaming because apparently the evidence is nobody watches these videos in their entirety. I can say whatever I want right now. Maybe not. Now that I've said that, I'm sure I'm going to get, like, I'm actually going to get comments, but that'll be welcome, because the comments always made it a bit more fun, right, interacting with the audience. So it was like a highlight of YouTube. Yeah, like, I mean, like, and I appreciate the views, and I appreciate that somebody took the time to like the video, but, like, I'm kind of wondering, like, who is this, like, are any of my subscribers still, like, I don't know if you're, if you're avoiding Google+, you can tweet me, too, if you want, like, talk about the video, like, because I'm not doing it for the stats, obviously, like, if I get, like, even if, like, 10 of the people watching left me a comment, because I was like, please leave me, like, I'm not doing it, like, like, the stupid, like, YouTube hoes or whatever, and, like, the people that, like, try and manipulate their audience really hard, like, to get stats, like, I'm not gonna get stats, I'm not gonna be most discussed, and I'll definitely try and answer, like, and it's like, and you don't need to leave me a comment right away, and you don't need to reply right away, like, with my really poor internet access thing, nobody understands more than me that it can take a while, but I'll definitely try and get back to you all. Especially now that because Google Plus comments are actually really cool. It's kind of funny, people are trying to spin all this stuff as, like, negative stuff, like, oh, you can, like, write as much stuff as you want, people can post, like, whole like, apparently people were posting, like, the entire text of that Hitler book, and, like, and, stupid stuff, like, on the stupid Bob tanks, you guys are all idiots for doing that, like, you named your revolutionary hero Bob. Who's gonna fall? Like, the most unimaginative, like, it proves you guys are a bunch of unimaginative idiots. You can put Bob tanks all over my comments. I don't care. Screw you. I'm not, like, if you really wanted, like, to make a revolutionary thing, you should have come up with a fun name for the character that was gonna fight Google Plus in the tank, which is not gonna work. But at least if it was like, Devin is outraged that Google would do this, and he's in a tank, help him, I don't remember the text, but it was stupid, but they named him Bob. Bob, John, and Mary are the three most unimaginative generic names in the English language. Two of them are religiously based. One, Bob's based off of Robert, and I don't even know why. I don't know a lot of people that actually go by Bob, but it's like one of those stupid names that you pick if you can't think, like, when you don't think hard at all. Like, I don't get why it comes, like, why people are like, oh, what do we call him? Let's call him Bob. Because, like, there are a lot of Roberts, but I don't know. I know, like, a couple old guys that go by Bob, and that is it. And, well, like, and actually a couple young guys, I guess, but I don't know them well. I don't know the ones I'm thinking of personally. I know them because they're other people's friends, and they all go by Bobby. But either way, like, come on. I could have accepted a lot of, like, I guess there are other, like, unimaginative names, like, you're not straining your brain that hard if you use James or Charles, but at least those would be a little bit different, like. But, like, John, because John, I guess Jane kind of too, because of Jane, but I mean, like, not as much, because Mary's the one that's, like, very, very, like, because of Jesus, I guess, but Mary seems to be a very generic, like, not that you hear, like, none of the people use in that context a lot, but it's, like, a very, very extremely common name for people to have somewhere in their name and stuff like that. And there's a, well, actually, no, it kind of is, like, I've heard a lot of stories where, like, when they can't think of female names, they're like, oh, Mary. And I guess Jane kind of, but at least Jane's kind of like, you don't hear that one a lot in, well, it's coming back, I guess, but it's not like, you don't think of it as the most generic name ever. It's used as the opposite of John when you do, like, Jane Doe or whatever, which is, like, an unidentified, whereas John, like, you gotta understand, it's like, oh yeah, John, like, the most unimaginative, like, generic name of all. But yeah, if you could even use, like, something that spawned off of John, like Evan, because apparently Evan spawned off of John. Like, everyone's like, oh, Evan's outrageous Google Plus. I'm like, oh, cool, Evan, at least they tried. Evan, Devin, Derek, Rick, I don't know, I don't care. Ralph. Ralph doesn't necessarily sound like a name that strikes fear into the heart of Google, though. Chester, but yeah, like any of those names. Because it can be a generic name, like it doesn't have to be like Artem. Well, actually, you guys could have been not sexist and made there be like a female warrior. Jeez, just kidding. But no, yeah, that was super stupid. Like, and I don't like, especially because it tried to make like a kind of cool feature into a bad thing. Like on Facebook, I'm pretty sure you can write on to affinity now too, right? And it's not a bad thing. Like especially because it still cuts it off at the see more point or whatever. You don't have to click on it. If they obviously posted a spam thing, and like I don't understand how like posting external links on YouTube was a bad thing, because now you can post internal links and like you can't like if it looks sketchy, don't click on it. And if they try and like use your brain. But like people like the screamer jokes and stuff like, like, because you can usually kind of figure out where you are. Like, I mean, like, you can post your URLs on Facebook and Twitter, like, why not on Google, like, on Twitter, on YouTube comments? It makes the site competitive, and and I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, you know, like being able to draw the stupid drawings, like, yeah, sure, that might get in it, but like, same thing, they still get cut off after a while. Like, you know what I mean? And like, really, like, you know, if it's a cool, you know, I don't know. I get the, like, but I don't know. I don't agree with, like, I don't think that it actually makes it a horrible thing, especially because you probably could do some of those drawings in 500 characters less. And I know, like, for content creators, this like stifles like the fact of people having to write 3 comments if they want to go on a rant. So, but I mean, like, personally, like, I like getting comments, and I don't care if I get 1 long one instead of 3 short one, like, because I mean, like, get over yourself. Like, you actually are gonna fight like an overall positive change because it doesn't let you manipulate the stats as well, or whatever, like, or it like slightly reduces. Well, and it has reduced comments, but it's also reduced like stupid fighting. So, whatever, I guess. The one problem I do have with it is it seems that if you dislike a comment, it tries to hide them from you, and it's like, I don't want to live in ignorance of these comments. I want them to know that they're wrong. Because, like, you know, then sometimes they'll argue back with you, and because you dislike their comment, they didn't dislike yours, they can, like, smack talk you, and it's impossible. At least, like, because I remember I saw that, like, I could see their comment when I wasn't logged in, but as soon as I tried to log in, and, like, I didn't consent to blocking the person. I didn't think that's what disliking the comment was going to do. It was just, like, it was ignorant, and they had, like, 3 likes, or 4 likes, and I wanted to be like, hey, we're not all behind that. You know, I don't know. So that's maybe a mistake, if that's the case. That's the funny thing about Google Plus. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just Facebook, because like the people I know that like were like, you know, people that I know anyways. Yes, so like yeah, like I have a couple friends like like that were very reluctant to go on Facebook, of course, and so when Google Plus initially came out, they like very much enjoyed it. But I think that's kind of the thing, like. Well, actually, I think Facebook's becoming more and more like Google Plus, ironically, but like, yeah, because I had this one friend that like, in his high school, he didn't have a ton of like, you know, he had like a little close group of friends, and that was about it, right? So he didn't like see a need for Facebook and preferred. Well, then he had like a lot of friends online, but yeah, he didn't see a need for Facebook. He just preferred to use messenger services. But yeah, like, but when he went to university, he finally got one because I was taking pictures and wanted to be in that. So like, and he had a larger. So sorry about that point, and I think he kind of came out of it, but he was never a huge fan. And then, yeah, when Google Plus came out, I remember he was talking how great he thought it was, and I had another friend who was kind of like, he was into developing games and stuff. Oh, actually, he was in some of my videos, Noel. So yeah, so then there was Noel, and he also, he'd always had Facebook, or I guess just to go along with the trend, but yeah, he also kind of said that he was never like a huge fan of like updating all the time and stuff, and then he also commented that he, like when Google Plus came out, that he thought it was a much better idea. So that's kind of the thing, right? Like, I think a lot of people that, so like the people that, well, yeah, if you're really used to one or the other, you might find the other one a little bit counterintuitive, I think. So obviously Google's trying to do whatever they can to get, but yeah, like, I mean, I don't know, I don't see like, why shouldn't YouTube comments be competitive with, like, I mean, like, it makes sense. It was a good move in the long run. But yeah, as I was saying, 2013's been a weird year. Or was a weird year. It's 2014 now. Also kind of a weird year. I had high-ish hopes for 2014. Like, well, the writing was kind of on the wall. There's going to be a rough one there, right? Like, there's a lot of ominous stuff on the horizon. But yeah, like, 14 being one of my favorite numbers, I was kind of like, oh, hopefully it'll be better. But yeah. Not exactly. It's been a weird year. Well, like, I think it's been a weird year for a lot. But I mean, it's also been like they were both really weird years. International, like, I mean, like in the headlines and stuff. Which I guess like every year you can argue is like, because you know they had the 2012 build up, which I think I don't know if I already touched on. I've had so much trouble with this camera. Like, I'm boring. Oh yeah, okay. So, anyways, one of the main reasons why this is so delayed is that it's a weird year. It's been a weird year, 2014. Like, kind of like the wine count, actually, for me. Well, I don't know how his personal year has been, but he uploaded a video on January 4th, right? Which is, I don't know if I would have, I don't know if I had any opportunity to get quite that early, but you know, I was kind of in the same vein. Like, I was close to being able to get a video out like within the first 10 days or whatever, first dozen days, which would have been in the first fortnight, which would have been really good for me compared to the last couple of years. And Well, no, but like, it was, it's just a weird feeling because like with work and like my schedule fluctuating and stuff like that, like I was getting called in lots and like getting back late. Oh, and then, and then sometimes some nights there's like, there's all sorts of obstacles. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I'm kind of perfectionist about like, I guess certain aspects of the video. Obviously, like the attention grabbing factor, I could stand to be a bit more perfectionist about. Like, and I apologize with how rambly and long this is gonna be. I'm having a lot of trouble editing it. I was holding out for HD too. That was the other thing, because like my cameras. Like I was like, it's time for PunkRockDependency to join the current decade, I guess, right? Because like HD has very much become the new standard. I guess like I don't know what the other one's called. I think it's SD for standard definition a lot of the time, but that's kind of inaccurate now because like most stuff is shot in HD now. Like you can still watch it in standard with those stupid bars, but like a lot of like the majority of stuff shot for HD now. So it's probably more basic definition is probably what the other one should be. It's kind of like people, they're bad at that kind of crap with linguistics. Right? Seems like with I don't know why though, because it's the same thing with cars, right? Like sometimes people call manuals a standard, but I'm pretty sure manual's not the standard car that's made anymore. Maybe not. I don't know. All I know is I know a lot of people that cannot drive a manual car, and I know of some people that can, but choose to drive an automatic because they do not want to stall. And so I don't know. Maybe there are still more manuals made, but even then, like standard's not descriptive. Like manual versus automatic, they both describe what the car does. Like if you're like, oh, this is an automatic and that's a standard, you're like, well, what does standard mean? So. Come on, screen industry, get your act together. Anyways, so I was really trying to do that, which, like, as I think I might have touched upon already, had to use these ratchet laptops that like were not enabled. I'm sorry, this thing is, the camera's crashed on me and and run out of space once now. So I've had to, and I've started trying to edit a little bit, but like. The current laptop I'm using has a more modern version of Movie Maker that can render in HD, but the laptop, it's like one of my parents, it's my mother's, it's who teaches at like a francophone school, so everything is in, the programming is all in French, so not only is the Movie Maker like kind of weird and different, it's like Microsoft trying to make it more fancy, but so it's not the one I'm most familiar with, but on top of that, it's all in French. C'est en français. So that's been difficult. Like, I was like, earlier when I was shooting too, I had these like weird, like kind of like almost headaceish moments where I kind of had to pause. I want to just cut those all out, but cutting this stupid, like doing that kind of edit, like I don't have a lot of time to edit, but on top of that, this like stupid français movie makers, an ordeal and a half to edit with. So I apologize. A lot of them might remain in there. I might try and cut them if I can, but yeah. So my apologies. I'm kind of not sure though. I think I might just be making like. But anyways, yeah. So so that's what I was trying to say. So my camera. Well, I was doing a photo project, not this. Like I had it kind of on. Like I don't own tripods to be like, but so I have to kind of like set up camera stands and. Anyways, in the makeshift camera stand, it fell off and landed on the car bits, but it's only this high, like high enough to shoot me, and so right after the stupid warranty, damn you Canon, ends yeah, like that happens, it falls, and the lens, so then like it actually kept shooting, but then when I went to turn it off, the lens wouldn't retract or wouldn't close, and speaking of those weird like heat headache moments, jeez. But anyway, speak of the devil, but anyways. So yeah, the lens wouldn't close, and but then if you try to turn it back on, so the lens is stuck open, but so it can technically still shoot stuff, hypothetically, you'd think, right? But no. If you tried to turn it back on after that, the lens would kind of try and close, or retract, and like jam, and then it would be like, lens error, camera must shut down automatically, and it wouldn't like. So yeah, so my camera's busted right now, so I'm borrowing another ratchet Canon that's for the most part working, but it's older and it does not render in HD. It does not shoot in HD, so I cannot render this video in HD, even though I finally have the equipment to, because the old laptops ran like really retro Movie Maker, which needed like a plug-in, and I didn't have trouble. I didn't have much success looking for that either. So, oh my goodness. Sorry, you guys. This video is so rambly. I don't know who's watching at this point because the last two videos suggested basically virtually nobody. So this is just here for anybody that wants to watch it, but it's also I'm kind of just doing it for myself so that I can, you know, so that there's no what if on it or whatever. And just some of this information I just want to get out there, so I have it, you know what I mean. So it's accessible. Even just for me, it's kind of like you know how vlogs can kind of serve the dual purpose of archiving certain memories, right? Kind of like a video journal. So yeah, just to get some of these thoughts out there. I hope somebody enjoys it. I really do. I don't necessarily recommend watching it all in one sitting because it's going to be like a motion picture length almost by the looks of it. But yeah, so that was a large part of the delays. So in the summer, I believe it was, the camera fell and that happened. So I've been able to borrow cameras from friends sometimes, but like I've not had success. And this is one that gets an old one that they don't need, but yes. So I'm borrowing it right now. It works. Yeah, it doesn't. Or the screen goes black. The one thing about this one that's weird is like when you run out of time, like usually my camera, like it makes a thing. It beeps a bunch, so I definitely hear it. Like, you know, if it runs out of space or whatever, and then like it'll also close after a couple seconds of sitting there and not being instructed to do anything else. Whereas this one just will sit and, yeah, I think it does beep, but it's a lot less noticeable apparently, because twice now I've probably talked for an extra 10-20 minutes after the scene comes, which is super frustrating, because some of that stuff is probably not a bad take, but yeah. And it's making it longer, and it's making me have trouble, like, I don't have time to sit, I've been trying to review, I'm in such a rush, so I don't have time to, like, oh, and this stupid Movie Maker makes it difficult to jump around the scene, like, it kind of, exasperating. But anyways, so, yeah, so the camera, so there was, yeah. But yeah, so maybe kind of start off with the wine cone, it looked like it could be good or whatever, yeah. He's got 4 videos today, because yeah, he vanished till like September, so I kind of had a similar. It seemed like there's lots of possibility at the start of the year, but then work kind of like picked up, like not as bad as it used to be, but still picked up, and just all sorts of crazy stuff is going on, like family drama and stuff too, and surprisingly, or impressively enough, I've got a flawless complexion, and well, I mean, maybe not flawless, I'm not inviting criticism, but like, you know, like, I never have any like overly distracting marks on my face in my videos or whatever. So there's a couple of times when I was like wanted to shoot, but like somehow like something caused there to be a scratch on my face. Like I was like, this is gonna be like, you know, because you want the video to last or whatever, and you don't want it to, like, you know, if you can avoid, like, you know, if you wait a couple days for it to go away or whatever. It's like I'd rather just not have to explain where that mark came from, and it not be in an entire video that's apparently going to be an hour long now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So. There's obstacles like that, family drama, work, like, it's been a hectic year. I was updating the Twitter a lot, like I mentioned, and then on March I was like, you know, this is ridiculous, I'm not gonna focus on Twitter anymore, like, until I have a video, especially with a lot of the updates on Twitter. If they weren't me, like, analyzing the weather for my photo projects and stuff or whatever, or like just the odd random comment about, like, yeah. Well, I got tickets to Guru That's my birthday, that's the thing I don't think I touched, that's the one thing on my birthday I don't think I touched on. Because, yeah, like we talked about the episodes of Community and Big Bang Theory that they gave me from my birthday. Oh, not actually, you know what I mean? And then, like, the kind of low-keyness of it because of being a frigid Thursday where people were still either gone or recovering from New Year's. But yeah. Where are we? So, what was this? But anyways. So yeah, like, so my day started off like, alright, like, it looked like I might get a chance to, and then, yeah, like, after, you know, which I think I touched upon January 12th, I got a shot to Disaster Truck's belated 20th birthday. Happy birthday again, Disaster. How many times am I going to bring this up, and I don't know. I think, yeah, but you know what I mean. I was going to say earlier, I was kind of joking about, like, how, like, Disaster. I do really appreciate you, Disaster Truck, and your friendship. I'm sorry, yeah. I don't know why. I don't know if you just enjoy being sarcastic to everybody now or whatever, but yeah. If it's over, yeah, it's too bad, because you're awesome, and I have appreciated your friendship over the years. Alright, but anyways, back to the task at hand. Oh my goodness, this is driving me crazy. This video is so awful. Yeah. Oh well, I'm expecting it to get a similar reception to Skeleton, so whatever, I guess. Yeah, but let me know if if you're watching. You can feel free to discuss any of the topics we discussed today. You're more than welcome to. But yeah, leave me some comments. Like I'm not like trying to like get comments for any reason other than like, I missed you, do subscribe. Well, this video is for you. It's kind of for me at this point too. But yeah, I want, just so I have the closure that if anybody wants this information, it is available to them. They might have to work for it by watching a very unfocused video because of all, and I'm sorry about that. I really am. If I could, if it weren't like New Year's Eve right away, I would try, like, and I didn't have sketchy web access, like, I would do what I could to definitely make it better, but I don't know, this is kind of wasting this stuff. But anyway, so yes, there's that, start of the year, then it kind of, so like around March, March is when I was like, I'm not gonna tweet until, like, if I can get the video shot for April or May or whatever, I will, but I'm not gonna tweet like updates about the video anymore because it looks ridiculous. I had to push back the date so many times at that point. But yeah, so when the summer came, that was crazy. Camera broke, so that was another setback. There's lots of shenanigans with my family. I've touched upon. There's a lot of drama there. Then came the autumn. On the web access for a while, like the old laptop. Has this part been just caught on camera yet? I don't know, because stupid thing broke. But anyways, like I used to have access to this laptop, like I said sometimes. But like it broke. My father's laptop that we'd sometimes get access to broke, and it was completely unavailable. Like, so I mean, I was the one that I got to use the most or whatever. When he would leave it out for or whatever. Like, anyways, it didn't break. I mean, he finally got replaced, and he was more territorial over the new one. So that was a problem for a while. Then for a while we got access to it, and now we don't again. So here we are. The new one also doesn't have Movie Maker, so that was another hurdle because I didn't want to, this is what, like, and Microsoft apparently no longer auto installs that stuff. They kind of went to like allowing you to get it for free, but you don't, which I guess makes sense, right? Like, if you're a business or whatever, like, I remember I always felt bad for all the programs that, or like, it's weird, like, when you're like looking at a business computer and they got all these random like leisure programs, like the games and Movie Maker and even Media Player, a lot of them don't use, right? Because they just use it to run, like, a security system and a couple work programs or whatever maybe, so, yeah. Makes sense, but anyways, yeah, so his did not come with those, Windows Live or whatever, add-ons or whatever, like the non, I think they refer to them as essentials, but the non-essential essentials, I guess, because like a Movie Maker is important for rendering a video, but it's not really an essential to a computer, like to a work computer, I guess, right? But anyways, maybe it's Windows Live, I don't know. Stupid Windows and their weird branding. But anyways, so yeah, that was not a problem. And then come November, actually, yeah, I'm gonna back up for a second. So, because I wanted to talk about this, I'm not gonna make a whole video about it anymore because it's so past date. But yeah, like so like I was saying, it was a weird, like 2013 was a weird year because like Google, as I said, like I've had my differences with in the past in my childhood and stuff with their supposedly safe search that shows you unsolicited nudity. So I was kind of like, and like I said, I think having to run YouTube and deal, like, actually run something that needs to be censored. Google's maybe improved a bit, and the one search has probably improved a bit. As far as I can tell, the safe search is kind of actually a little bit more accurate now. But yeah. But having to censor pairs on YouTube, I think it's kind of given them a bit, maybe improve Google's perspective. I don't know. Either way, like, but yeah, like the whole Google Plus thing and like them getting crucified over it, like, was ridiculous in my opinion. and all these content creators that were like lashing out at them, like, you need Google a lot more than Google needs you, because Google took a loss in the site for us for a long time, right? Like, well, and it's the same thing, you know, well, like, and people people in YouTube comments have always been extremely ungrateful, but because like same thing with Vivo, right? Like, it might not be perfect, but like Vivo allows everybody to access basically all the, like, a lot of music videos on YouTube, basically all the ones that I think that most of the artists have, unless there's like some kind of rights dispute on them. But and we could just as soon not have that. Like nobody's actually entitled to violate copyright law, right? You know, but like those stupid chain things that are like, oh, Vivo, get your corporate whatever's off you. Like, it's like, well, do you just not want the music at all? Because that's probably your alternative or whatever, right? Like Google and Vivo is like kind of like, Vivo's kind of represents the I can't speak, the compromise that Google and the record labels kind of managed to reach. Well, and I guess even the artists, right? Like everybody managed to reach to give us access to all these videos, right? Like, and the law, like, they're just looking out for, like, what they're doing makes sense or whatever. They have to look out for the best interest, right? Like, they want to be able to, they spend money on that content, they want to be able to monetize it or whatever. Like, it's pretty ungreat. Like, I mean, and actually, and usually they're willing to work with you unless you're just blatantly trying to profit off of somebody else's copyrighted work or whatever. Like, you know, if you use it in a video, a lot of the times they've reached an agreement where they'll monetize your video because you violated their copyright, which is like, I mean, like, how it works or whatever usually. Like, it's a shit, like, I mean, especially because, I mean, you probably could, if you were to work hard enough, find a way to clear, well, it would be a lot of work, but you know what I mean, like, if that music was super important, but you found that the video, like, stands on its own as a work of whatever, you might be able to clear it, but, like, I mean, if you don't clear, what do you expect or whatever? You're violating copyright, violating copyright law, so that's what your issue actually should be with. But anyways, yeah, so, but yeah, Google getting crucified over the Google Plus thing, like, it made a lot, like, I know it seems to slow down comments, and I don't know if that's why. I'm getting anxious that I've done some of these parts already. I just want to get this shot so that I can, yeah. But yeah, like I was gonna say, but I don't think most people don't want Google Plus because they're gonna feel bad about having a neglected Google Plus account, kind of like how I do with my Twitter sometimes, despite not wanting one. But like, you know, it's because I mean, it's like, what's the big deal? Just set one. Like, I mean, if that doesn't bother you, just set one up and don't use. Like, you don't have to actually give them your. But what they're doing makes sense. They're looking at their own business interests, their own best business interests, right? So, you can't mind. The other weird thing that happened in 2013 that was also something, like, you know, that in the past I've been quite critical of, is like the onslaught against Miley Cyrus and like, because I still like at the VMAs. So it's like a weird year that I feel like, that I felt like where the public like assaulted Google and Miley Cyrus. Unjustly, and I found myself in this weird area where it's like I kind of almost had to defend, like, same thing with mine. Like, I mean, like, I saw that performance and yeah, like, sure, gross or whatever, but like, I actually didn't think it was going to be a big deal. I was just going to go, wow. But it's just how ignorant people are, because, like, I mean, well, first of all, you can't put the onus on Viacom to parent your children if you're going to let them watch MTV. Like, no. You're the bad parent for letting your children watch the VMAs if you feel that like, scarred them. Especially because, like, you know, assuming you let them watch those music videos, they basically just reenacted, like, We Can't Stop and Robin Thicke Script's video. So if you let your kids watch those, but then you're offended by that, you're an idiot. But I mean, even like, they've been sexualizing my, like, you know, I think it's because she, like, the shift in look or whatever caught everybody's attention, but like, I mean, like, when she was still at Disney or whatever, like, the last round of videos she released, like, Can't Be Tamed and stuff like that. Like, there's the one where she's like in her underwear in a cage and stuff. Like, I mean, that's actually arguably worse than that performance in my opinion. But yeah, like, not to mention, like, don't let Disney parent your children. Like, they have a horrible proven track record. Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, even Shia LaBeouf went kind of whatever. Like, I mean, Disney stars go bad. So, like, I mean, not to mention, it's not like the shows are good, wholesome entertainment. Like, I mean, I know that's what they marketed as. Like, Hannah Montana's like bratty show about like teaches children to be brats, like those shows, and they're also like poorly they all follow that, like, I don't know if it originated, but this is as far back as I can trace it. They all follow like the Sabrina formula or whatever, where, you know, protagonist one good friend of both genders, you know, like Harvey, I guess, and Sabrina, and like whoever on the other side, like, you know, it was initially Jenny, and then like she, I don't know, weird casting problems, apparently she vanished, but and they replaced her with that other girl that's not as good. I know her name, but I'm not saying it. I'm not giving her the satisfaction anyways. But yeah, like, you know, and then, well, Sabrina didn't have a sibling, but, you know, that would be like Salem the cat, I guess. You know, like, that's how they all are, though. They have a weird sibling or something that lives at home, two friends, one of each gender. Oh, and then like then an antagonist bully that was ironically always a lot less, like, always less attractive than the protagonists, even though they don't seem to think, even though they think that they're like the best. So yeah. Like, look at Disney shows, like, so many of the Disney, like, sitcoms or whatever they follow that formula, trust me, like, That's So Raven, Lizzie McGuire, and they're all, like, well, they're, even Cory in the House, kind of, like, man, but I don't, like, and I haven't watched these all, like, in full, but, like, I've had to suffer through some of them, and, like, I don't think they teach children to be good people. I think they teach them to be rats. So, yeah, it's not Miley Cyrus's job to parent your children, and you're a fool if you think that's the worst thing they've seen if you've let them watch everything she does. But yeah. And I mean, like, the VMAs are all, like, they often are scandalous, so you're a horrible parent for letting them watch that, and being, if you feel that, like, the VMAs scarred your children with that performance. Yeah, alright, but yeah. Like, I'm not, like, really, like, still not my thing or whatever, but, like, at least Miley Cyrus is being honest with, you know, she's doing what she wants, sort of, so good for her. Like, I mean, it's kind of refreshing that it's at least more authentic than, like, that manufactured, kind of, like, veiled, I cannot speak, veiled, negative influence that she was before or whatever. Right now she's doing what I mean, like, I don't know, yeah, because, I mean, like, you know what I mean? Alright, but yeah. So then we covered that, and then finally, so I remember thinking, like, the last thing that really delayed shooting, actually I think ironically this video might on its own be longer than the amount of content I released last year, so you're welcome. Just kidding a bit. Because I think it might end up being an hour, close to 2 hours, an hour and 45, like, and I'm just, I'm sorry, this is what I can do. But yeah, like, late November I was thinking, it's like, I gotta get this video done already, like, and well, things are rough around the house or whatever. Yeah, I was like, alright, we gotta get this video shot, and I was gonna try and make a pledge to you guys that, like, well, I mean, obviously, doing more than 2 videos in a month, in over a month, is not an impressive feat by any means. I was like, I'm gonna try and give you more, like, content time-wise than I did last year, right? Which would have been an alright goal, right? Because, yeah, I did about an hour and a half last year, so, you know. And I know we're not, it's not like premium quality, like, and we're gonna have to figure out what's happening with PunkRockDependency. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I want these videos to have longevity, and they clearly don't, or whatever. They don't seem to attract an initial audience. And I'm, like, you know, like, I don't have a working HD camera or anything right now there, so it's not time to, but I might have to ponder the idea if I need to rebrand or something, or start a separate project, like, and just aggressively spike the quality, because it's getting more and more competitive, and I don't know, we'll see though. But anyways, yeah, so that was it. But anyways, and then, so in late November there was lots of fighting, my brother was going crazy, and my parents were actually threatening to throw people out of the house and stuff, and it was terrible and sucked, and I was up, it was like 4 in the morning, that particular day my brother had gone berserk and kind of bashed me into something, so I had this weird mark, and I was like, it was going to fade in a couple days, I was like, I'm not shooting with that. Plus, actually, I don't think I had access to a functional camera that, oh no, wait, I just did, I got my friend's camera, I was like, whatever, I'm going to shoot in the next couple days. So that was the objective, but anyways, I was sitting there watching John Oliver's stand-up show, because that was on at 4 in the morning some nights in the autumn on one of our channels, on one of the channels we have in Canada, and the comedian wasn't super funny, and I was like, at that point, and like the weather had called for like a nicer kind of like, I was kind of dreading it because it was a bit cold, but at least it was going to be cloudy, and I was like, I got lots of stuff I got to do, so I was like, I should get to bed and try and get some sleep and try and get it. I was staring up because I was like, just trying to de-stress and figure out what to do. But anyway, so I go lie down, and all of a sudden, like within an hour, like this is around 4:30, within maybe a little bit before, but anyways, within the hour, it's like at 5 p.m. There's all this shouting, and I wake to the apparent realization that our neighbor's house caught on fire. My father was yelling and stuff, and it's kind of weird. Like it's not necessarily it's like, you know. So I had just gone to sleep. If I'd stayed up a little bit later, if I'd watched the end of the John Oliver's stand-up hour, I would have been awake for the explosions apparently. But like, you know, that started it all. Like, but anyways, so it was hard to say exactly what was going to happen. Right? It wasn't even so much that I was like, oh please, like our house can't catch on fire, but like, or that I was like, there's no way it'll happen, like please don't let it, like, you know, or even just like, you know, or like arrogantly thinking like that it wouldn't happen. It was just kind of like, it seemed like too surreal to, like, it's like, well, their house is on fire, like what are the odds that ours is going to catch on fire, like, you know, because a lot, like this, like the city I'm in, like especially the area, it's not like, you know, it's not like very like densely populated neighborhood, like, you know, the houses are far enough apart usually, so you don't hear about a lot of multi-house fires or whatever. But on top, like, you know, just kind of like one of those things like that you don't bank on happening to you, obviously, right? Like, so like I was trying to figure out what to go. Actually, I think I mentioned, yeah, like you might notice I'm wearing the same shirt again and this sweater, but I actually had a specific. I was gonna switch the shirt up. If you were wondering, like, oh, is there a chance that uniform now? No, I was thinking of doing a different shirt for this video. That I had a different wardrobe chosen for it, but the sweater in question, I think I must have left it on the main floor somewhere, so I was unable to get it when we had to run to the house. But anyway, so I grabbed a bit of stuff, like, you know, I was for all, like, it was hard to say. For all we knew, we were going back in shortly or whatever. Like, you know, we had to be out to make sure that the neighbors were okay, and in case that it expanded. But like, you know, you weren't necessarily like, oh yeah, our house is going to get condemned. But then we got outside to see the fire leaping onto the side of the house where my parents' bedroom is, and it was getting onto our ceiling as we were getting. Actually, we walked out to our neighbor's car on their driveway right beside us, exploded, bursting into flames, which is like the one on their driveway, because apparently it originated, yeah, damn GM car. I'm not positive what their cars are, I'm pretty sure they're both GM. And then, like, you know, they're making a bad rap about, like, all these defects and stuff, and yeah, apparently what started was the car in the garage exploded. But yeah, so that person, actually, and this was like right after, like, there was like more footage of the Ferguson riots, so not to make this, yeah, like, but I remember, like, you know, you saw all these burning cars on TV, like, literally that night, like, the night before, like, and I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. So, but then that's exactly what like, obviously not a riot, like, this was like an arson or an attack or whatever, but, yeah, I woke up to watch a car burst into flames. But yeah, so we go outside, and then, like, yeah, so it's on the roof, and the firefighters had, like, they came, and they started trying to, like, contain and, yeah, contain the one fire, and also, but like their hose was having trouble getting angled or sealing or whatever, because it's higher up than the other, and the neighbor's house was lower lying, so they had to wait for another truck with like one of those like long standing ladders to get there. And so our neighbor's house was absolutely burnt to a crisp or whatever, and our, like, I mean, it was like completely black and ash, like it was burnt to absolute ash or whatever, whereas ours, like, from the outside, like, by the time it was over, like, didn't necessarily look uninhabitable for sure, like from the front at least, like, because the front didn't catch too much flame, but the side was, like, the side that was touched, like, by the neighbors was pretty charred, and with all the smoke and water damage, it was condemned or whatever, and they actually might still have to knock it over. We're not sure what's happening, but yeah, so that kind of put a damper on that. It's kind of weird, right? Like, it's kind of crazy, like it was a weird, crazy, and it's funny too, because like in this area, we live in a part of Canada that probably isn't supposed to be inhabited, because like some of the, well, actually the city's prone to flood, like a very aggressive flooding, but like there's diversions and stuff now, but that often results in some people outside of the city getting flooded. So in our school, we have some people that come in from, or the school I would like, we had some people that come in from outside the city, and so I remember I used to hear about how, like, their houses would sometimes would get flooded, and they'd have to be relocated to a hotel for, like, you know, a couple months. And I remember, you know, like, I kind of enjoy hotels. That must be kind of fun, but also at the same time kind of horrible, like, you know, because like of this. but at least they were able to prepare for it. So sometimes, like, it's more just like they lost access to the house, but they were able to make sure that the majority of their stuff wasn't there. Still, like, you felt bad, but, like, and also, like, that, like, is, like, that must be crazy, like, it's hard to imagine or whatever, but we kind of got, well, not the same thing, obviously, but we kind of went through that, because, like, even though a lot of our stuff wasn't burnt, it was almost all water damage or smoke damage. The restoration company kind of came in and they took a lot of our stuff to try and restore and everything. Like, that sweater hasn't turned up though. This is actually something that got restored or whatever. I remember I was looking at it and I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I wasn't shot positive it was the best buy anymore, but holy, oh my goodness, not a blooper. It was actually like just split. Like, there's a loose thing and I was like, duh. Maybe I'll have to get this replaced after. But it's very soft or whatever. Because I remember I was looking, I was like, oh, it's great. And I forgot to have this, which I really like, the logo on the side. But yeah, it's very soft. So I've enjoyed it. Like, so that's what this is like. Well, actually, a lot of my regular sweaters. Well, the blue one that I showed in the last birthday video, it's zipper broken stuff, but it also wasn't able to be restored. So I guess that's getting replaced. Yeah, it's crazy. That's the silver lining, I guess, right? Like, at least everything, like, they'll do their best to replace everything. It sucks, though, too, because, like, this year is, like, apparently the trend for autumn was, like, dull, drab, dark, grayish color, like, bland colors, like, gray and burgundy. It's like, that's stupid. Like, so there's a lot of ugly clothes in stores right now. But, yeah, oh well, no. On the plus side, a lot of the clothes I really like, look like they're, well, I mean, like, a lot of the clothes, well, I really like that sweater, but it was also broken, so I guess if it was to not be fixed, that would, I mean, if it were to be, I guess, well, at least it's getting replaced now, but yeah. A lot of the stuff clothes I really did like, they managed to more or less restore this, or like it seems, silver linings, I guess. But anyways, yeah, it was a weird day, like, and it was freezing. Like, it was funny. This way, like, because of how hard the blaze is going, like, it felt pretty warm and mild outside, but it was actually really cold once the fires are gone. It was one of those miserable, sunny, cold days I was complaining about. It was, yeah, glaring sun. All these, yeah. And I wasn't even sure how long we were going to be outside, so, like, initially, like, the firefighters rescued my jacket, but it was also kind of off to a point. They couldn't find the sweater, so I don't know what happened, but anyways, yeah. They rescued my jacket for me, but, like, I had to borrow a friend's. It was an Element sweater still, it wasn't, like, the designer's crazy, but, I mean, like, those are so trivial things, but it's funny, because, like, the news was, all these, like, all the local news people came down and were trying to get interviews, and my family, like, some of my siblings did a bit of press, like some of them asked me, oh, and some people were like, oh, geez, why don't you want to do that? Like, wouldn't that be right up your alley? And it's like, I really don't want to be standing there and, like, because I think that was before they got my jacket. It's like, I don't want to be standing there wearing, like, somebody else's jacket and somebody else's sweater, looking all exhausted and cold, talking about how my house burnt down. Or, I mean, like, I don't aspire to be on, like, local news, like, talking about how my house burnt down, period, or whatever. But yeah, it was just like, it's like, that's not what I want my first television credit to be at all. Especially because, it's like those generic local news, like, kind of like random interest story, like even like, like the bed intruder interview or whatever. They're all like that. They kind of talk in that monotonous, over serious voice. Oh, I'm here on the scene. Like, I'm like, no. Because, like, even my siblings, like, they spoke fairly well, but they still managed to kind of cut it where, like, they looked kind of goofy and stupid for some of it, like, one of my siblings. But yeah, so I didn't do that, because it's not something I also didn't want, as I've just touched on before, I'm not crazy about my last name, and, I didn't want to, like, I didn't want to have to worry about that, but basically I didn't want to have to worry about that footage surfacing later on if I ever do achieve success and everything, so it's kind of like random. And I was like, no, thank you. I'm willing to talk about it, but, like, as time goes on, I remember I thought, like, oh, that'll be an attention-grabbing video. It had my, like, not like, oh, like, I'm going to do it, but it made me think about it. And I was like, oh, yeah, that grabs the attention, I'm sure of it. It's like, I don't necessarily want that kind of attention, like, like I said, I'm struggling with what's happening with, like, what I need to do with this channel, but it's like, I don't want to make a gimmicky video about my house burnt down, so that's why I'm just putting it in this one, and very near the end, too, so we'll see if anybody notices. But yeah, so that's what really, after that, like, we were at a hotel for a while. So, oh, and you might be like, oh, don't you have the same background? Because I remember, like, yeah, when I finally did, like, the birthday video prior to this, I was kind of excited, because, like, it was from my room being redone, like, it finally got a nice colored background, kind of, like, finally joined, like, circa 2009 era in YouTube, everyone having one nice, kind of professional-looking background. Yay! But, yeah, so there was that, or, I mean, yeah, but so this is actually, a family they're trying to downsize, so like they or like I don't know they're downsizing. I think partly for financial, but yeah, I think they built this big house for themselves, and they're for like and all their kids have moved out, so like they're trying to sell it and haven't had much success thus far, and they off like so because obviously your insurance doesn't want you to be in a hotel forever. And well, I mean, it can be kind of rough. Like, you know, I made the most of it and enjoyed it, but it was best I could, like, you know, because it's rough circumstances. But like, I like hotels, so I tried to have enjoy it as much as I could. And the family fighting subsided a bit, but like the tension is still kind of high. They so insurance was looking for a place, and yeah, they offered this to us, and they're gonna try and sell it in the spring, but like you know, apparently winter's not a good time to move real estate. So they said if you need somewhere to stay, it's not that far from where you were. Like so, this is where we've ended up for now. And apparently they've ironically got similar taste in background and wall colors to me, so I actually wound up with a room. There was two rooms that actually had similar color. The other one was a bit lighter, and it was a really big room, so I didn't get that one. I'd like to keep me in the smaller one still. But anyways, this is actually, maybe it's bigger than my old room, though. Definitely bigger than like how my old room was at one point when it was kind of like the Harry Potter closet, but yeah. So ironically I have a similar background, but I remember I was waiting for somebody to ask about the background because I thought like, oh, maybe somebody will notice, like, oh, it looks really nice, but nobody did because nobody comments on my videos anymore. I don't know if that's because of Google Plus. Well, I mean, even if it is, though, like, hopefully it'll eventually come to a point where people get over it. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know if it's because of Google Plus or what the deal is there. Sorry. Yeah, anyways, I don't know if it's because of Google Plus or like that it's like slowed down. Hopefully people will come around, like, I know like a lot of content creators like, well, I don't know if it's just because of stats or whatever, like, yeah, like, you know, obviously, like, sometimes it could be beneficial if, you know, if somebody wanted to go on a long argument or tangent or rant or whatever, they'd have to, like, you know, do multiple comments because of, they couldn't reply to multiple people at the same time, and they also, you know, had a 500 cap for it, but I don't think getting rid of those things is a bad thing. I think it's actually very good, especially because it's not like the comment goes on for forever, like we were saying. Like, I think I'm pretty positive there's a show more about it after a while, if it is, like, yeah. Just like everything else, like that was a smart decision that makes sense. But yeah, anyway, so hopefully, I don't know, you have embraced Google Plus at least enough to use it to comment on YouTube. Feel free to leave me a comment. I'd appreciate it. I don't like I said, I have no idea when I can get back to you necessarily. Like, I'm hoping that 2014 was a rough year for me. Well, me and actually a lot of people I know. It's been a weird year. All sorts of craziness. Yeah. Weird year, like, yeah. Overall, I guess, right? Rough year for Crimea, rough year for the Democratic Senate in America. I don't know, no. I don't want to talk about that now because I don't want to get controversial, but yeah. I feel bad for the Democrats, but I also feel like they kind of reaped what they sowed, and not because they did a bad job governing, but because I think the one guy in the Colbert Report basically called them a bunch of cowards, and that's basically what it was. Like, I mean, like, well, I guess, I don't know, supposedly they did not stand a chance, which is weird. Like, it's like, how can a party not stand a chance, like, no matter what they do, they're going to lose going into an election? Like, I mean, and not because, you know, because of that, we're not going to get it. But yeah. Well, actually, no, I mean, like, and I get, like, the Senate, but I mean, like, it seems really weird to me that they don't stand any chance at all to get any of the House or whatever, because the House was up to a lot of shenanigans. It seemed like the government should, but anyways, yeah, like I said, I've learned from William Johnson's example, and I don't want to get in trouble for having, because I think that's where I am not particularly politically outspoken on anything, just because of the fact that I don't really have the time to keep up with, you know, the debates that I'm sure would erupt from it. But yeah, on top of that, it's But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's American politics, or you don't want to get too much blood in your hands. But yeah, craziness. Alright, yeah, so this, rough year. It was a weird year at work, lots of weird changes. General manager up to some shenanigans. New one. Not like the same illegal shenanigans as the old general manager, but still, not good. Goodness. But yeah, I hope all is well with everybody. You guys can leave me comments if you want. As I said, I always appreciate them. Not because I'm under any, like, this video is not market friendly at all. It's 2 hours long. It's not coherent because of the editing issues. And because of the camera. Yeah, that camera makes almost no noise. It cut me off there again. Like, this is why, like, I don't know if it looks different. I've also been off center all thing, and I'm not impressed. I kept meaning to fix that, and I didn't. So I'm sorry for that too, because I usually like to be, well, I'm kind of centered, but like not as much as I should be. Anyways, the camera makes basically no noise, and then it just kind of sits there and stares at you. Actually, it doesn't make any noise when it stops. It makes noise when the screen goes black because it ran out of space and it's been staring at nothing. It's been staring or doing nothing, but it doesn't close. So I did. Curses, Canon. Oh my goodness. But yeah. Oh, there's one more thing. Yeah. So, yeah. One of the things that made me really sad was the Beanie Baby. All my Beanie Babies didn't burn necessarily, but they got water damage. So if you're Ty Warner and you're watching this video and feeling bad for me, I would very much welcome you sending me new edition if you can. And I'm sure Ty Warner's generous, but yeah. Well, I'm not going to get into because controversy, because that's what I learned. That's like one thing that's not replaceable. Like the rest of the stuff, like most of it's at least replaceable, but yeah, that made me kind of sad because, even if they give, like, well, they're not going to, because I don't collect them for the money, but they're not going to give me, like, what their hypothetical, probably not, at least, like, let's say one of them was worth a lot, and I didn't have any, like, super rares, I don't think, but yeah. No, I was never going to sell them, but it's just sad, because now, like, the ones that were, like, irreparably damaged, I can't get back or whatever, because, or maybe I could, but not easily by any means. I can't just go to any store. I'd have to go on quite the quest for them. Like, I wouldn't want to get, like, new Beanie Babies, because, I don't know. Well, there's a lot of Disney, like, the Garfield ones are a good idea, but a lot of these marketed, like, these, licensed ones after kind of make me sad. No offense, Ty Warner. If you were thinking about giving me the Beanie Babies, don't let that be the thing that changed. It was a compliment to your initial creativity. But yeah, alright. But yeah, alright. Thanks, guys. Take care. I hope all is well. Yeah, leave me any comments you want. I think we covered basically everything at this point. My birthday's coming up again soon. Like I said, I'm hoping 2015. It's got to be a different year. I hope, like, it's been a hard year, I guess, because, like, all the changes of work and so, but it's also been, like, like a family drama and stuff, but it's also been, like, kind of struggling with realization that, like, time's going, you can't run from time, right? Time's going on, and if you wait forever, it's gonna, you don't want it to pass you by, like, it's hard. So I'm kind of, like, I've kind of, like, I think I've hit a lot of crossroads in the last, like, in the end of 2013 and throughout this year, and I gotta figure out, like, what's the right path, and that can be really hard, and kind of, like, you can, like, you can get kind of anxious, right, like, because sometimes it's kind of, like, it's hard to tell, like, what, and you feel like it's kind of like almost you feel like you're playing, like, a very, very complex chess thing, and you don't want to make the one move that's kind of, like, you want it, or, you know what I mean, though, right, like, there's a lot of variables, because sometimes I think I'm just, like, this city is, like, crazy, and, like, it's the weather. The weather's always been horrible, so I'm not completely. The weather, the last, not being able to, like, not having a vehicle right now. The weather is hard and stuff, and it can wear you. It definitely wears you down. But, like, on top of that, like, our provincial government's, like, corrupt as the F word. There's, like, they raise taxes after promising not to, and it infuriates me, because it's, like, the most blatant display of lying I've ever seen. Like, let's not talk about politics, but I'm not going to identify the thing, and I'm pretty sure that talking about provincial politics isn't going to be the door closer that, like, William Johnson was referencing when he had that problem. maybe, but I'm not being particularly outspoken either. Like, what I'm saying is true. Like, they bald-faced lied about it. It makes me so angry. Like, it's like I don't want to pay like the. I avoid the taxes, but which is a good way to save money, especially because there was a couple of rough patches of work where like I wasn't making as much money as usual because of it slowing down. Well, and because I've been doing work with the bosses, but sometimes that gets a bit slower because the general manager is like out for blood with a bunch of anybody she thinks could replace her because she's evil. Sorry, that's mean. I don't know. I don't want to say that, but at the same time, it's very self-serve. I don't know what they say. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and I'm not saying that being the general manager of a chain is necessarily, but their bosses are struggling with what to do, and like they aren't standing up for themselves as much as they maybe should. And there's a lot of power in that position, which is how like the other GM got away with so much. But yeah, and the same thing with actually this government. They got so many terms, I guess they thought they were invincible, even though they promised not to, and they're lying through their teeth to try and sell this to the public, and it makes me angry. And I'm kind of like, I should just, but like I haven't lived on my own yet. I'm young and innocent. Like, it's kind of like I'm stuck here holding on to this innocence. Or like, I guess like it's maybe like it's growing up's hard. I quoted Blink-182 in the last birthday video, I think, and Muse and all that. Yeah, like the Fox song "Holding On to Heaven" makes me. This is what I kind of think of right now. You know, not this is heaven by any means. But, you know, I'm holding on to like what I like. I don't want to let go of what I know for the unknown and. You know, like holding on to whatever little shreds of innocence I have left, even though the universe and the cosmos is conspiring very hard with its horrible cosmos hex to cosmic curse / horrible hex to rip the last shreds away from it. Like, I don't know, it's weird. It's a weird feeling. It's like, you know, it's one like where do we go from here? I don't know. Because sometimes I think like, should I just go to a different part of Canada, get like a change? But there's people like there's certain things I feel would be left undone, and there's people I don't want to leave behind. You know, as a lot of my friends are busy, I don't even get to see them as much as I'd like. But it's kind of like I don't want to walk away. There's like a lot of things that would maybe be good to get away from. There's like this and that I don't want to walk away from. Oh my god, it'd be nice to spend tax again. Because you can't technically avoid. It saves you a lot of money. But it just makes me so angry. It's like because there's loopholes to get around like way, but it prevents you like you can't go to like a restaurant. Obviously, like you have to buy like essential groceries. When if somebody buys me, it's not like a treat or something. I'll take. I don't know. And I know a lot of people don't get that, like, and don't relate. Like, I mean, like, people are mad, but like, people always make that joke about Canada. Like, we don't get all up in arms. Like, there's all these riots and we're like. The odd time, like, you know, a group of people might, like, go to, like, the legislature or whatever for one day of protest, but, like, you know, after that they kind of, like, roll over and take it or whatever. It makes me sad, like, you know, like, I hate, too, when people say, like, oh, the soldiers died for us to have this democracy, and it's like, and you think that the best way, like, you know, well, often they say that, like, for voting, but, you know, they're like, we have it pretty good in Canada, we're safe, we have lots of water and reason. So, yes, we do, but are you saying that because we have it good, we should allow our, because we have a nice country that we should invite oppression and the decay of democracy by not standing up for our rights and for like integrity in politics? Well, that was a stupid thing about Canada this year, like that Senate scandal's their biggest there. Like, you know what's weird about the Senate scandal? They're trying to crucify the governing party for taking money out of their own money and trying to cover up, which I know is bad, but it's weird, right? Because usually, like, especially in Canada, because Canada's way, like, Canada, much like, you know, America's, like, at large, is probably more tolerant of bigotry on the Republican end. Canada's more tolerant of it on the or conservative, like liberal end, because our conservatives are basically like in line with the Democrats, not the Republicans. There is nothing like the Republicans like that gets seats that exist in Canada. Like there is no party that like has this portion of the country's control that really is in line with like Republicans. So like we're like so America like naturally a bit more conservative than us, I guess, and we're naturally a bit more liberal-ish. Like I mean, we have like a couple parties that are off to the liberal side that have different names. But we'll tolerate a lot more bigotry from them than from like the Conservative Party, which is kind of in line with like the Democrats or whatever, because the Democrats are still despite being called liberal hippies by Republicans, sometimes they're still fairly conservative in a lot of ways. But yeah, not all of them, but you know what I mean, but like the party as a whole or whatever. But anyway, but yeah, this is a talking about. But anyways, yeah, so I have to figure out what to do with this channel and like, you know, if there's a viable future, because like, I mean, I don't do like, and on one side I'm kind of relieved too, right? Like, you know, it's been a good learning experience. Like I said, I used to have that channel that I was like, you know, like my initial channel, I was friends with Dave Days or whatever. I knew some people that, you know, got like a minor partnership off of that. And I'm almost kind of glad that didn't happen for me in some ways, because, you know, it's been a learning process or whatever. But now I do worry, like, you know, if I'm going to get serious about this and increase the production value, is like my body of work going to hurt me and like damage my... Especially because, like, I don't know if it's ever going to profit anymore, because, like, you know, the site used to, like, have that kind of, like, cascade effect or whatever. Like, you know, if one of your videos did really well, it gave the rest of them a bit of a boost, whereas, like, that doesn't seem to happen as much anymore. Like, I've seen some people that have, like, 10 million views, like, you know, one of their videos went completely viral, and back before, like, you know, often channels like that, like, at least the couple, like, closest videos to it, like, you know, on their front page would also get, like, you know, get a boost to, like, 50,000 views or whatever. And, like, I've seen some, like, it was like one video has like 10 million views, and then like the next video that was uploaded before it only has like a couple thousand. Because I want these, like, you know, I want these videos to have, you know, stand the test. You know, and, you know, cause I guess they're all sentimental to me too. Because, you know, I've still got enough where, you know, hypothetically, you know, like they all still, even like to an audience, like if somebody was like really into my videos, like they'd all stand out individually. Because once you get to like 55 or whatever, or 45, even it can kind of get like to the point where they start to blur, right? Because that's a lot or whatever. Like, and you're like, oh, what happened in which video or whatever. Because I still kind of like, they all like still have their own unique, like they all, well, like, and obviously if you're looking at them, but even though looking at them, I can remember what most of like the titles and where they are in the standings and stuff like that, and views and stuff. So yeah, it's been hard. I need to figure out, like I said, I think words, I might like to try something like that again, but just because of the fact that, like I said, what Ray William Johnson said kind of resonated with me. Like, I don't want to close doors for like low view. Well, I mean, obviously those ones weren't. So Chance Unofficial and PunkRockDependency are probably going to be what are, like, I want to upload a video to them, and I want Chance Unofficial to get 1,000 views overall. Like, it's at 700 something. So if you guys can help me with that, that's great. Before I like pull the plug. But yeah, I think those two. You don't have to, but I'm hoping I'll find a way. Maybe I'll autoplay it on all 3 channels. And I'll play the novice from that one on all 3, and just so that everyone knows. We'll see. But yeah, I think that those are coming in. I don't know. Like, so let me know if you're invested in, like, you know, because I was talking about how, like, I hate when people censor like their YouTube past or whatever, like, you know, without like changing channels and stuff. So like, I'm definitely not gonna, like, you know, try and reboot this channel by hiding all the old videos or whatever. But I might have to, you know, launch another channel with like, so it's just, yeah. Because, like, I'm obviously not a life caster or anything, but, like, you know, that makes me think of, like, Mr. Safe, Corey Williams, Mr. Safety or whatever, like, when he had, like, that, you know, I guess he had that video where he proposed to his girlfriend and stuff, and I remember watching that, and it was kind of good. Like, I don't really, not too familiar with, like, most of the videos, but I remember I somehow saw that one, and I kind of liked, like, I kind of enjoyed it. It was, like, interesting, and then, like, I guess, like, the engagement fell apart, and maybe it wasn't his choice to privatize it, but I kind of feel like it was. Like, I don't know if she took away, because I'm sure if he was giving her a share of the monetization, that she would have let him keep it up. But I think there's more to, you know, kind of try and edit his past. And it's like, if you're going to be a life caster and try and, like, manipulate people into caring about your day-to-day life in random, kind of honestly, like, irrelevant videos after a while, in most of these life casters' cases, I feel like you owe them, you know, the benefit of leaving up any video that they might want to see again, because now I can't see that video again even if I wanted to. That annoys me. Well, I mean, I was not invested, but, you know what I mean, like, it would annoy me a lot more if I was really invested. Well, I mean, even, like, you know, I talk about, like, Ray William Johnson, like, and I know he has done that a lot too, whatever, but, yeah. I haven't been able to follow anybody really. I followed the Wine Cone this year because he only did 4. You should do another video too, Tony, because, yeah, like, he kind of came back in September, then he was sick, and he released 2 more, so he's got 4 videos for the whole year, despite releasing one on January 4th, so that's why I kind of relate to his year. But you should release one more, Tony. You don't want to have 4 videos at the end of 2014. Shake it up. That's the most generic number you could have, aside from having 14 videos. Or just kidding, you know. Kind of like I might end up with almost 400 tweets for the year, and I got up to 500 or something. In no time, just, you know. But like I said, I'm going to be more strict until I'm 15, so I might go on a tweet spree just to wrap up here if I can, if I get the access. I don't know. I don't have just 400 tweets. I'm better than that. I'm just gonna, and I know like a lot of people don't think that way, but I know, I'm like, oh look, he did 400 tweets because it's 2014. No, I didn't. It was an unhappy. It was an unhappy accident, coincidence. Oh jeez. Oh, my sweater sleeve broke. It's really soft though. It's good. It's comfortable. So I don't know what to do now. Yeah. So there's that. But yeah, so I followed Tony. I was behind Miriam Johnson, but I try and check in some. Like I haven't had time to keep up with anybody else really. The odd time I watched it, like I have not had good web access, and I've had other things to worry about. Like I've been trying to keep like, and nothing has been kept like completely up to date. So I'm gonna apologize to you guys again. It's not because you're not important to me. Obviously you are, because I'm doing a lot of work on this video. Like at the end of the year, because it's really important to me that it comes out. Partly for myself, but also for like. But I mean, part of the reason it's important to myself is because I want it out there for any, like, you know, if I could for sure, you know, if I knew like unilaterally nobody's gonna care about this video, I probably wouldn't. But I want to do my best for you guys and give you what you deserve, like, and what you deserve. So yeah, here we go. 2-hour motion picture style, January 2nd. Oh, we got a lot of stuff that I've been meaning to say on the air, to broadcast out at least, even if it's kind of incoherent. But yeah, so, Winecode, one more video, please. Do a New Year's Eve one. I don't know if he's going to or not. I would encourage him to, but yeah. Yeah. It was a cool year. Like, a lot of people released, like, yeah, GOG released Apartment 13, go check that. But yeah. I don't know if I said this, but yeah, like, even though I often do end up having to release these videos on gimmicky dates, I've been really perfectionist with stupid crap like that. Like, I never wanted to release them like on days where it like looked like I deliberately was like, oh, I'm gonna make sure to release this on, you know, well, like Skeleton. I was not feeling releasing it on December 12th or whatever, but I convinced myself to because it'd be funny because of Riley Rewind. But like, I mean, I didn't want to be like, oh look, he waited till like 12:30. It's like, no, I didn't wait for it. There was desperation. Just like October 17th, they watched it. Not that that's a special date by any means. Like, it doesn't look like one. 17th number, like a lot. That wasn't why I did it. It was like out of pure desperation. It's like I want to release this before the weekend, and this is the day. Yeah, and well, yeah, and a lot of the other ones, like, well, like actually I talked about like I almost got to shoot in March again a couple times, and I didn't, but I did. I was like, I can't really. I'm not doing St. Patrick's Day because I've done Valentine's Day and stuff in the past. I was like, I don't want to look gimmicky and like, well, I get it, just ignored the fact that, you know, just like how I almost got this up on Christmas Eve or whatever, or I made it go for it, but it didn't pan out. But yeah, like, I was adamant not doing Christmas or Boxing Day though, because I don't want to release a non-Christmas video on Christmas. And I couldn't think of any way to make this Christmassy, especially because all like the Christmas accessories I could have used are in the house, in the condemned house. Actually, a lot of like, or being restored or thrown away, like. Were absolutely just, you know what I mean, were absolutely destroyed. So there was, and I was like, there's no point in releasing it as Boxing Day. That's what everybody's distracted. And that's funny too, because you know I'm all like about like these stupid analytics, like, oh, like, you know, because all those stupid gimmicks that like big celebrity YouTube people use, like, oh, really, so on certain days, like it's gonna make a huge difference for me. Like my 111 people are gonna like all watch it one day, but not another. It's funny too, because like, you know, when like on TV, the weekend's obviously stigmatized. You don't want to, that's not a good sign if you're premiering something on the weekend necessarily. But on YouTube, maybe not so. But you know, people are still busy. Like, it's hard to. I don't know if it's a good day or not. Like I said, like I really, yeah. But anyways, yeah, like I was saying, like I guess like I'm kind of glad in a way that like, you know, this channel's kind of run the course it has. It would have been nice if it was like, you know, to acclaim, but you know. Been a learning experience, and I've got like I do think that I'm going to be able to release some more high quality things, and hopefully that they're going to be able to find an audience. I'm also glad though that, you know, because once you get in the partnership, well, I know anybody can, but like, you know, back then like there was like a lot of pressure to achieve certain like objectives and stuff, and I'm glad that I never had to go through that, like, you know, like pressure to compromise their integrity. Like I was saying, like, oh yeah, because I went on my tangent about like Corey Williams and SXE Phil's another one, like, and I get like it's hard if they're like living, like, you know, if that's like what they're living off of, right? Like, compromise my integrity to pay the rent? Well, I mean, I guess it's still a choice. I remember, like, because that's actually felt like he's another one I was thinking of, like, like, because I always remember, like, how everybody still to this, or Philip DeFranco, like, they still to this day rip on him for, like, uploading that video where he solicited money from his audience and then he deleted it and he's kind of trying to pretend it happened. I think that's super disrespectful to your audience and very tacky. I don't agree with a lot of the gimmicks he uses, though. Even, like, he was like, why there were so many people, like, using, like, breasts to get views. Because, he used to have all this unrelated, like, and here's an interesting story. So, at work or whatever, the guy that, the franchisee of the business next to us, there one night he was talking to me, and, like, there was a scandal thing that, like, made, like, kind of went viral. Like, it was a scandalous video that was shot at the school that went viral where we live. And actually, I think he might have gone to that school or no, maybe not, but anyway, he knew people a little bit, like, he was like, oh, let's check. He's like, do you want to check out? I got my laptop in the back, so we went to the back of his store. This was after close or whatever, and I made sure to temporary lock mine, and we went to the back and checked, like, and we were checking on his laptop, and like 2 results came up. The actual video was going viral, and Philip DeFranco's commentary. And Philip DeFranco used a much more provocative thumbnail. I was like, oh wow, what's this? I clicked on it. I got to see firsthand, like, what a douche people think you are, and like, because I'm used to it, but somebody that doesn't understand it, like, isn't like in the community, like doesn't follow like a lot of like YouTubers directly, or like he's like, who is this douche, kind of like, because he tricked him into watching a video, like, and I think he did have the footage eventually, but that thumbnail he used was not related to the footage. It was a lot more provocative and a lot more high res, and it's super tacky. Philip DeFranco, you're the douchebag of the day. I'm not doing that to violate his trademark. It's just out of sarcasm and funniness. But yeah, like, no, like, I mean, like, because I mean, if he, like, but like solicit, like, even like him soliciting the money, or that's super like, I mean, or actually, like, I understand, like, if he did need it, but he should have left that video up and stood by it then, like, and thanked that, like, uploaded. Well, you can't do responses anymore, but at the time he sure could uploaded a thanks, and by the time he's on his feet or whatever, maybe, like, donate the equivalent or whatever, then he could have turned it into like a somewhat positive thing. But now it's just something douchey that he's trying to like sweep under the rug. I also remember seeing him get all like offended by people like trying to guess how much money he makes. It's like, it's none of their business. Like, you aspire to be like this YouTube celebrity. It's like, don't you know that's YouTube celebrity? That like that's kind of what comes with the territory. Like, people always, like, the media always tries to figure out how much people are getting paid for shows and movies, and a lot. I don't know if there are celebrities. They're like, hey, how much are you getting paid an episode? Go after yourself. That's none of your business. But like, I don't think so. I've never seen that happen before. And, like, I don't know if they necessarily tell, and I can see like not wanting to come out and say, but like, to be offended by the speculation is ridiculous. Especially because, I mean, like, this is something that hypothetically somebody has a computer, the equipment, and the talent, that like it's something they can realize, or like, if they have the right idea, like, it's something that they could probably achieve or whatever. So it's very reasonable that the media and the public are interested in how much people are making off these partnerships, and it's actually pretty ungrateful of you to lash out at them. You're very lucky to be where you are. Like, you don't have to like, come out and say how much if you don't want to, because I understand that too. Like, sometimes it's better just to ignore those questions because it can build resentment or whatever. Like, even at the workplace, if somebody asks you how much you make and you make more money than them, it can be a bad idea to let them know. But yeah, you can't be offended by the speculation because it's perfectly natural. It's something that anybody with an internet connection can aspire, like, and a camera can aspire to, and well, and a computer, obviously. So, I mean, yeah. Pretty douchey, Philip DeFranco. You're the douchebag of the day. Douchebag of the day for every day of 2014. I wonder if you're watching this, I don't want to hurt your feelings, which I'm sure you're not. But maybe take the constructive criticism, like, smarten up. Grow up and, own your mistakes in the past and try and make up for them rather than just try and hide them. But yeah, so anyways, that's the thing, like, I don't want there to be the perception I'm doing that, so I'm not gonna like try and like whitewash the videos. I don't think. Oh, I mean, off the channel. Like, I don't know if I have to create a new channel. I'm not sure if I should close. But yeah, if you have a strong, we're gonna talk about this more in depth in the coming year, I think. But if you have a strong feeling either way of this stuff, let me know. All right. So I hope you enjoyed my probably 2-hour and 10-minute motion picture January 2nd birthday video. Take care, guys. It's much appreciated. Let me know what you think. Feel free to talk about me about anything in the comments. You can also tweet me, but sometimes Twitter loses my messages if I don't log in a couple days, or in the past at least. So just be careful. Don't that doesn't happen, I guess, right? Well, I mean, and actually, it'll be easier to interact on here. I prefer that over Twitter, but yeah. Depending on the comments, if you get to me in the next couple of days, I'll try and get back to you. Vis-a-vis the comments here or whatever, I'll respond whenever I can, like forever and ever until unless something happens with these videos. But alright, take care. Let me know what your thoughts are. I hope you've had a nice year. Belated Merry Holidays, like I said, and an advanced Happy New Year. Take care. I'll see you in 2015 probably, because I'm not going to be able to get anything. This actually might even come up with New Year's Eve for all I know, but I'm not going to really get anything out. I don't think I'm going to have time to film anything else for that. Or who knows, maybe Happy Surprise. But alright, take care, bye. Farewell, take care. Good. I hope you've had an alright year, and let's hope for an even better 2015. Take care.